Okay, boys, we're live watching some UFC tonight. Minnie, I knew you'd be here for this one. I knew you were pumped for this fight. I like the build-up so far. The fights have been pretty decent. Pretty decent so far. By the way, Minnie, did you see the Joe Joyce Takam fight? Who do you think wins the main event? I mean, I think it's really hard to judge a fighter that's been out of the ring for years. 2 years is a lot of time. And what's crazy is someone pointed out that he's actually older than freaking Jose Aldo, which blew my mind. I did not realize that. I didn't even think about that. So, I think that I'd like to see TJ win, but when you literally, I mean, I don't know what he's been I haven't kept tabs on him in terms of what he's been doing since he's been, banned from fighting in the UFC. So I just don't know what he's going to show up with. Is he going to be nervous? Is he going to be excited? You know what I mean? Who do you think, Minnie? Who do you think's going to win? That's the thing that I always kind of question with these kind of situations. Like, I mean, in boxing, you have guys that will be out of the ring for, 18 months, and it really shows. But I don't know what TJ's been doing. For all I know, he could have been training for the last, year and a half nonstop. So, got Corey. His last two performances were really good, but I think TJ is a bit rusty. Yeah, man. I think we'll see that. We'll see some nerves. I think we'll see a little bit of ring rust. We'll see all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, too, sometimes guys get so excited about a fight and being back in the ring or whatever, they just overextend themselves. They get a little bit reckless. They just go in there and start trying to throw big shots right from the beginning. And it's like, slow down, pace yourself. There's no need to rush anything. And some of that patience can be, there can be a little bit of impatientness. They can be very amped up getting back in the ring. Someone like TJ, especially, too. You're going to have a lot of critics. I'm not saying that's going to play a big part, but it will be interesting to see how that plays out. So, TJ should fight smart and try to avoid the flying knee. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Don't want to end up on a highlight reel. That's always a good suggestion. Don't end up on a highlight reel. Because, I think there's the fact that these guys have sparred already. They've been sparring partners. They know each other, man. They've been around the block with each other. They've fought each other before. They know what each other do. It gives a little bit more interest for me in this fight with those kind of elements. I think that in general, anytime you have guys that have done any rounds together, it just makes the fight a little bit more interesting to see who can impose their will and style on someone else. Minnie, what'd you think of the stoppage of the Joe Joyce versus Takam fight? I was not happy about that stoppage. There's been rumors that TJ went sent someone to spy on Corey's camp. Ooh, juicy. That's interesting. It was the worst stoppage ever. I mean, it was bad, man. I understand trying to protect the fighter, but Takam he was wobbled, but he wasn't that hurt. He wasn't taking that much punishment. So to me, that Takam stoppage was just not good. Not good at all. It was really bad. Takam, I think in general, I had him winning the fight for sure. I think eventually Joe Joyce was going to win, though. Because I couldn't see Takam doing that level of movement non-stop for 12 rounds. I just couldn't see it happening. So, Joe Joyce, though, he did not come out looking impressive in that fight at all, in my opinion. Like, I keep waiting for someone to come in and for him to face someone that's like can move well, can like actually box well and have really solid fundamentals. I thought Daniel Dubois was going to be that guy. And then Daniel Dubois literally didn't move his head the entire time. Not surprising if I'm being honest. These UK refs have been, and judges this year in particular, have been awful. Awful. So, yeah, I'm not surprised either. But, yeah, I'm just waiting for Joe Joyce to run into someone that can actually use solid fundamentals and beat him. Because Joe Joyce gets hit a lot. He gets hit so much. And he has a great chin. But, I mean, any of the guys I think that are in the top 10 probably should be able to beat him. In my opinion. It's not hard to see his punches coming. He's so slow. He's so slow. So, it's more of a, it should be interesting later on to see how he progresses or who he fights next, I should say. Who do you think wins Oliveira versus Poirier? I'm gonna pick Poirier. I mean, Dustin is he's big. He just looks so big in that Conor McGregor fight. And I feel like Oliveira can get hurt. And if he does, I feel like Poirier can just like capitalize on that. That said, I mean, with guys at that level that are that dangerous, anything can happen. But I'd probably lean towards Dustin. What about you, Minnie? That's my general opinion. Dustin looks so big, man. Yeah, he gets wobbled easily. And I've been just getting more and more impressed with Dustin's boxing. His boxing ability is really solid. He's more than just a guy that's oversized for the weight class. He's got a lot of really good skills. And you just can see the levels and changes, man. Followers can get him on the ground. Oh, I'd say Charles. Yeah. That's all. Where the fight is, actually going to. That'll be interesting. Let's see who wins this ladies' fight. I think Maverick's gonna get it. Oh. The Joyce Takam stoppage was good. I saw the clip on Twitter where Takam was unable to defend himself after getting rocked hard. The reason I have an issue with it more than anything is if you're going to stop a fight like that, especially when the guy's most likely winning at that point. I mean, Takam, although wasn't fighting back enough, I think, which is partially on him, I think it was still a little bit too soon for my liking. I would like to see a little bit more, but that's me personally. I've seen people have your take too tall, kid. I've seen other people say similar things to you, tall kid. Personally, I think it was a little bit soon. But I do think that in a way it was inevitable. Like, I do think that that's basically how the fight was going to go anyways. So in that way, I'm not really, it's not like I'm mad about it because eventually I saw Joyce winning that fight. How much does Joyce weigh? He's got to be heavier than Joshua due to how he moves. Dude, he comes in, I believe Joyce, if I'm not mistaken, is like a 240. No, Joe Joyce is the slowest boxer I've ever seen. He is just a very slow, plodding boxer. There's just no real, like, he's just not really like I don't want to say he's not like athletic because he has athleticism, but he's just that's just how he is. He's super slow and plodding. And that's why a lot of people they just don't care for him, or they his jab, he kind of throws out like a robot, and he's he's extremely robotic. Extremely robotic. To me, he has the skills to pick off guys that I feel like are not complete fighters, or they just don't have the right skills to go against him, because he has good fundamentals. But the thing is with him, he gets hit so much. He gets hit so much. Yeah, he weighed in at 263. Holy crap. He's gotten even heavier. I know after the pandemic, that when he came in after the pandemic, like, he weighed in quite a bit. Pretty heavy. To me, Joe Joyce he's got a great chin, but he's so predictable and so slow. I just don't see him making a dent in the top 10 guys, to be honest with you. I just don't. Seems like a really nice guy, but yeah, he weighed 270 for that fight. Yeah, I remember that, and I was just like, woo! 270, and you're like, 6'5", I believe he is. What's up, Shrek? How's it going, brother? Like, Joe Joyce is a big guy. He hits hard, but he's slower than molasses. So are we going to see someone snap their leg tonight like we've been seeing in all these freaking UFC events? Were they wearing weed hats? I think I'm going to leave around 9:30 p.m. Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do, brother. So he weighs the same as Tyson Fury almost, yeah. Although Fury might come in at two. I know, he's talking about coming in at like 300 pounds. Joe Joyce is a heavy, slow, plodding heavyweight. Very slow. If you have someone that can move even half decent and put together solid combinations and a good game plan, they're going to beat him. So, I don't know. This is a weird, like, I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, how is this all related? Oh, Shrek, I hear you, man. I mean, I know TJ pretty well. I know him decent. I've definitely watched TJ fight more than a few times, but I'm not an expert on this. I would say Minnie probably knows more than anything. Just made me realize how lean Wilder Joshua. Yeah, dude. AJ has a Logan Paul type physique. If I were to make a comparison, I mean, AJ has a Greek god sculpture kind of physique. It's pretty unreal. And what blows my mind is that Wilder weighed in against Fury, their very first fight, at like 211 pounds. That's insane. That's insane. So, yeah, AJ, I think, has debulked. I believe he got up to like around 260 at one point, or physique-wise, but good needy. Oh, what's going on, JT? The bad judging has already begun in the UFC. Slenderman punches harder than Mike Tyson. There should be a super cruiserweight in boxing. Are you talking about like bantamweight, like, or the what do they have that no, not bantamweight, the Brenner weight, where it's between 200 and 225. The WB, yeah, Bridger weight. Thank you. I was trying to think of the kid's name and I couldn't remember. Brenner Bridger, yeah, the Bridger weight class. Dude, Wilder's just like, how are Wilder's calves so small? I don't know, man. Wilder is slender, man. he is so lean. It's just freakish, man. It is freakish. Bridger weight sounds dumb. Yeah, so the WBC created the weight class, and they got a lot of backlash of people being like, this is stupid. And then the way they kind of wanted to like skirt around it to make people like not talk about like Bridger weight being dumb is they picked that kid that like saved his like sister from getting like mauled by a dog and like got bit on the face or whatever. They're like, we're just gonna name the weight class after this kid. So if you make fun of it, you're making fun of this kid in a way. And it's just like, come on, man. Like we're not idiots. Sounds like an old town Western film. Super Bridger weight. I saw a video of AJ as an amateur where he was under 200 pounds and lean. Dude, yeah. Old AJ was stupid lean and did not have any bulk on him. When do you think we see Bud versus Porter? Ooh, I believe that's going to be happening this fall, if I'm not believe. That's when they're trying to get it. From last I remember, I think I'm actually, if that fight happens, I'm very excited for that fight. I'm really excited for that fight. Because I think that Crawford will win. But I think Sean Porter's going to make him go to hell and back to win. I really do think that Sean Porter, when that dog comes out of Sean Porter, man, he is a mean dude to be in the ring with. Yeah, they're saying it looks like he's going to be inking it with Porter right now. It would be, yeah, Showtime, Fox, PBC, I mean, I got to imagine they're going to give them some time for that. 50-50, Bud's true first test. I mean, one of his best tests by far. I tweeted at ESBC game and asked if... Oh. It would be sick if he was in the game. Dude, that game, I'm skeptical of it. I'm skeptical of it. I just want to see what happens with everything there before I put down my hard-earned money. I got to see a little bit, because I've seen some stuff that makes me not feel great about that fight. I mean, that fighting game overall, where it just seems like they could have possibly spent all their money on just buying fighters for that. So yeah, they have to reach an agreement in 30 days for Porter versus Crawford. Sean Porter versus Crawford. And I bet you they'll put it in, like, I mean, it's almost already August. Knowing them, they'll probably give them like until like October or something like that, maybe even November. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I want the game to succeed. I want it to be awesome. But I have the vibe of it not being awesome. And from what I've seen, there was a channel that I've kind of talked about on here that kind of did a whole breakdown of some of their stuff, and like, the Uriah Hall fight more than this fight. I know, man. Well, I think they're also trying to, like, I mean, Hall is such a great talent, but that last fight just ended so quick, and it was so sad. I was super pumped for that fight. Super light heavyweight. We all need to hit up one of these big fights coming up, dude. Yeah. I would love to do that. Oh, I loved his Anderson Silva fight. The way at the end where he was just like so emotional about beating like his hero. It was amazing, man. So we are going to be doing the 12-hour stream, not next Saturday, but UFC 266. That Saturday, we're doing the 12-hour live stream, which I believe is August 7th. Because we'll start earlier than the fights. We'll do some like videos and stuff like that. And then we'll do like the entire card for UFC 266 for that stream. Because I was looking at next week and I'm just like, there's literally nothing to watch. There's like literally no fights going on that I'm like super jacked up for. And I was like, UFC 266 right after that, and that's just jam packed with amazing. Wait, 265? Is it 265 that's next? Yeah, 265, my bad. That's a stacked card. And I much rather do a 12-hour stream to that. Yeah, August 7th. I much rather do, especially with Lewis. I freaking love him, man. He is one of the funniest dudes in UFC, and he's amazing. His tweets are incredible. You got Amanda Nunes on that. I mean, so I was like, if I'm gonna do a serious, crazy long stream, this would be a much better one to do it on than trying to do it next Saturday where there's like no fights going on really. So that is the game plan. That is going to be a very long stream. So there's so many ads. Of course there's so many ads on any of the UFC stuff. You know why? Because UFC is like the one and only big money maker right now for ESPN. ESPN's losing crazy amounts of money. So UFC's doing them a huge favor with their fights. I mean, they're pulling in probably bigger numbers than anything else. Man, That is a terrible chest tattoo by that one guy. The damage, my God. The UFC is like the NFL of combat sports right now, man. 265 has everything. What's her name? Angela Hill, I think. She's pretty. I've seen her. She's got like crazy reach, and she's really good. She was really fun to watch. I liked her a lot. Dude, that tattoo. Oh, she's in the prelims, not early prelims. That chest tattoo is god awful. The damage. Oh, God. That is rough. That is a rough tattoo, man. I mean, Amanda Nunes just like, I don't know what's left for her, really. I just don't know what's left for her. Poor Bruce has to be dragged into every octagon on a weekly basis. Hey, man, I bet you for the amount of money, retirement is left for her. I mean, yeah. There's just nothing to do for her. She's beaten everybody. She doesn't just beat these other girls, she destroys them. And it's not even close. 1 million per letter. I mean, I would love to know what Bruce Buffer's freaking contract is. I'm sure it's amazing. Dana seems like the kind of guy to. I like the small crowd. Yeah, me too. I will say that I'm excited. I always get amped up for Amanda Nunes fights just because like she's so good. Oh wow, this is a. Oh, I thought he was gonna maybe choke him out for a second. She's so good, but it's just like it gets to a point where it's like who's even gonna fight her at this point to challenge her at all? Yeah, Shrek, you can. You and Minnie can, yes. I love. I just realized I can ban people. I love how. When you said that, Shrek, I just died. Hey, yo, boys, you better be careful with your words. Just saying. Now, Shrek, if only you could ban freaking Sky Dragon that we keep having come into our. I think for the 12-hour stream, I'm gonna do a good chunk of it, almost all of it on just Twitch. Both these guys have very interesting tattoos. He has a triangle. Right now, man, the fact that both these guys are still fighting like this is amazing to me. This is a fun one just because of the action in this is like nonstop. Uh-oh. This is a lot. Yeah, I was going to say a lot of energy right now to do this kind of work. My goodness. Elkins, I thought Elkins looked like he maybe was the bigger guy a little bit, but I could be wrong just looking at the two, but he's getting mauled. Miner's just like crushing it. It does not make sense to have YouTube on the 100 follower stream. I mean, want to be Dominic Cruz? Well, normally I'd be like, oh well, it'd be nice to have YouTube involved and stuff like that. But the truth is, like, YouTube, there's very few people that pop in from YouTube, so like I have 11 viewers right now on Twitch, and I'll have like one on YouTube, and that's fine. Like, I'm glad to like that we can incorporate everyone, but for like a 12-hour stream, I think it'll be better just to simplify things a little bit. In case I want to show fights and I just want to like play videos, and I don't have to worry about YouTube like doing what they did last time where I'm showing a fight from like UFC, I don't know, 20 years ago, and they're like just stopping my streams and giving me copyright claims left and right. Or Nunez could fight her wife. Title will stay in the family. That's like the one kid who does no work on the project and still gets an A+. I mean, I think in general though, like, I've been trying Trovo out too, and that's just been doing nothing. Trovo's like terrible. So he he freaking banned Dana White. This fight is, yeah, dude. Well, it's good he's got damage on his chest as a tattoo then. This blind dude is badass. I mean, if this is another round like the last one, Elkins is going to be so done. The damage. Exactly. That's, I love it. Uh-oh, guillotine. Wow, man. I'm starting to have a little bit more appreciation. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, brother. The Guinness Czar. How you doing, man? Yeah, man. The fights have been pretty good. It's been fun. 10-9 minor. Yeah, I would agree with that. Elkins is a tough dude, though. This is a lot of just energy, and just all of this stuff is so rough. And then to just be able to get out of situations where you're in bad positions, it's just... to keep fighting like this, man. Elkins right now might be taking this round if he continues to be on top and can do some damage here. Both guys look tired, man. I wish Twitch would let you censor certain words. He's got a chin. That's for damn. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Minner is just like getting pounded right now. If Elkins wins this, it's just pure, just raw will at this point. I could censor Dana White and Joe Rogan. You could. I think so. Technically, on Twitch, I can make certain words, so they don't show up. Testicular fortitude. I like. Yeah. Exactly. Oh my god, that's good. I don't remember what this video is called, but it was a video with a guy in a wig making fun of fangirls of AJ and Ryan Garcia. That's the only watch boxing for them. That's awesome. Entertaining grappling for sure. Yeah, they're both tired for sure, JT. So yeah, Shrek, there is a way for me to ban certain words, but I don't know. I don't know if I would, but you know, certain girls that do hot tub streams certainly ban certain words so people in chat don't call them that. Dude, Elkins is just unreal this round. This is a huge comeback round for him. And they might stop this. They might stop this. Yeah. Wow. Holy shit, dude. Maynard must have talked about his mom. Wow, man. Yeah, I'm glad they stopped that. Does anyone have any hype for the Thor versus Eddie? I mean, I'd want to see them at least hit some pads or bags and see some style there, and then maybe come back and like be able to tell you what I think about it a little bit more. But big, huge, muscle-bound dudes with no form. If they have no form, it's not going to be that fun. Oh, definitely underpromoted. I agree with that, Shrek. Brain damage Elkins. Yeah. Oh, so guys, you know how on Friday we watched Classic Fight Night and we were watching Evander Holyfield, right? It's the tattoo. So we were watching Holyfield, and Holyfield went through some just crazy wars. I don't know if any of you guys caught Evander Holyfield talking to Joe Rogan. But man, it's Foreman won. Yeah. But man, you can hear that damage. It was just Foreman his brain damage from fighting. Holyfield is sick, yeah. He and Roy Jones Jr. are up at the yeah. Oh, wait, are up the road from me. Wait, what? Wait, what? Really? Panhandle. Yeah, man. Roy doesn't sound too bad. Mike doesn't sound too bad, but Holyfield took some damage, and when he was talking to Joe, I just had moments where I'm like, oh god, like, you know who sounds really bad is James Toney. Toney sounds I mean, woo. We have a history with Roy. That's right, we do. We do, Guinness Czar. It is unfortunate for a lot of those old boxers. Shane Mosley was starting to sound bad. Oh, that's you hate when you hear that too. So Guinness Czar, just to give you a little quick recap of what happened was our history with Roy Jones Jr. is, so every Friday night, Guinness Czar, we do Classic Fight Night, where we watch old boxing matches. And it's just super fun. Like, we were watching Julio Cesar Chavez. We were watching George Foreman versus, Evander Holyfield. We were watching all these, like, that's what we do. We just watch old fights. And it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of like watch those fights that maybe you've never watched but always heard about. So I was like, oh, let's watch some, like, Roy Jones Jr. We haven't watched Roy yet. And I love Roy Jones Jr. Like, I am a product of the 90s, and Roy Jones Jr. was incredible, man. So I just make the statement that Roy Jones Jr. is one of the most just complete fighters all around. Like, his defense is amazing. It's like his offense is incredible. He has a high ring IQ. And I have this one dude that's just like, Roy Jones Jr. wasn't that good. His defense wasn't that very good at all. He was just, that's why he just lost. Glad had an argument with someone who said Roy Jones Jr. wasn't a complete fighter. Yeah, wasn't a complete fighter. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't want to argue with people in chat, but it's just like, I respectfully disagree with you. I think Roy Jones Jr. was an incredible fighter. And yeah, like his chin went later in his career and he got knocked out and all that stuff like that. But prime Roy Jones Jr. is a amazing fighter. Yeah, I know. Head movement is part of defense too. Exactly, tall kid. And that's my footwork, head movement. He's not shoulder rolling like freaking. I respectfully disagree. Conduct yourself accordingly, sir. And I was just like, so I was just like, okay. Yeah, I love Roy. Roy is a good dude. He just seems like a really like happy-go-lucky guy. And so I kind of drop it. I'm like, whatever. And this dude is just writing like unbelievable amount of comments about Roy Jones Jr. not being like a good fighter. And everyone in my chat's just like, Twitch side of it is having fun and like talking about something completely different, talking about like Butterbean. And then on the other side, at like, did Roy Jones Jr. hook up with his mom? I don't know, man. Nope. The fight hasn't happened yet. So the main event has not happened yet, swag. And then like Twitch is having a good time. And then like my YouTube chat's like just raging. No problem, brother. So it was one of those things. It was just a very weird, it was a very weird moment. So Roy came out with Kobe Bryant's colors. Oh, and his Mike Tyson exhibition. I know that was an awesome one. Roy still talks about Roy in third person. I love Roy Jones Jr., man. He's a country boy that's just like really down to earth. Butterbean wasn't a complete fighter. I will fight you, Minnie, if you say that again. Sweet Home Alabama. Butterbean was just offense. So Guinness, one of our our general, like, I don't know, I'd say mascot for the channel is Butterbean. There's a lot of enthusiasm for Butterbean on the channel. So I know, man. No, I know you're just trolling. I know you're just having fun. But like Butterbean's like are like, yeah, he's kind of a mascot for the channel. So if you hear us talk about Butterbean in like an extremely high order, that is why. Yeah, he's just an inside joke here more than anything. Deontay Wilder is a complete fighter. Oh my God. I do wonder what Deontay Wilder would be like if he started boxing sooner. I feel bad for the winner of the WWE Brawls for All. Bean almost murdered him. Yeah, we watched that one. like he that was like, and we watched the Johnny Knoxville knockout. I mean, yeah, the Johnny Knoxville one we've watched a couple times. It was like, and Knoxville got his nose broken, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, Wilder started at the same age as Jake Paul started, right? I mean, I believe Wilder started like, I thought it was like his early 20s maybe or something like yeah, like really late, So it was Are you guys trying to figure out how to ban people so you could ban Dana White in my on my channel? Oh my god. That's fucking funny right there. You guys gotta start banning Joe Rogan and Dana White. Oh my god. But yeah, so I do wonder what, I mean, Wilder was in no time went from never boxing to getting a bronze medal. So I don't know how much I put weight into medals, Olympic medals as much. I think they're interesting to include in terms of like a background of a boxer, but I also don't think that they're like ultra critical to deciding whether or not a boxer is like a good boxer or not. And how many times will a Dillashaw fight happen? I'll grab some food meanwhile. Yeah. I feel like heavyweights can get away with, yeah, starting as an adult because of the lower skill level need to make. Well, that, and just like you look at a guy like, Stavern, that Wilder beat. You're beating guys also that aren't like peak physical condition, man. So there's also that element to your point, tall kid. Like you're not dealing always with like top incredible level physique. Like guys in the lower weight classes, especially once you start getting to the lower weight classes, you have to be in incredible shape on top of that. You know? So. Oh yeah, so Swag and Guinness are, yeah. Minnie and Shrek can definitely help you guys out with links for fights and stuff like that. They're usually really, really good about that, man. The difference between cruiser and heavy is night and day, yeah. I mean, to go up from cruiser to heavy, a lot of guys want to do it. We've seen guys do it and do pretty well. I mean, Holyfield's an example of that, but it's not the same as it used to be, even. That used to be like not the biggest difference. Now it's a huge difference, man. Isn't that what caused the decrease in boxing in America? We have these like odd like love affairs with heavyweights and knockouts. Yeah, no, for sure, man. For sure. I would say, so the thing is, Guinness-Zar, to your point, is like if there isn't an American heavyweight or fighters that are in that heavyweight division that Americans are really into, it certainly declines the appetite for Americans that are on the more casual side of boxing. Absolutely. No question. I know Oakley's planning to do it too. I know. He's a big boy, but it might work out for him, or it might just be one of those things where he goes up and gets hit with something big, and, I have to imagine, though, a guy like that is already probably doing some sparring. When is John Jones fighting again? Oh, God. Probably next year. Maybe once, if we're lucky. If we do a blood sacrifice, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. So, yeah, Shrek and Minnie are not bots. They're not bots. They're actual people. I feel like AJ is going to hit Usyk like he's never been hit before. I feel like AJ eventually is going to hit Usyk, and it's going to be a problem for Usyk. Because the other thing is AJ is so much better now than he used to be, man. John Jones ain't the same anymore. Yeah, he's definitely not. Definitely not, man. I mean, his last win, that was, what was that, Reyes win that he had? That was super close. In my eyes, he lost that fight, but we're back in nine months. He's pregnant with an idea right now. Yeah, I thought that was a robbery in my opinion. And I feel like maybe it's a little bit ignorant, but I feel like I don't see the amount of robberies in UFC as I see in boxing. So I was kind of surprised by that. He robbed Anthony Smith's also. Oh, man. There's nothing worse than that. Ngannou might be one of the most scary dudes in all combat. Boxing included. Like, Francis Ngannou is just the scariest dude. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. AJ is more skilled than Wilder. AJ has a lot more fundamentals. I do think he has better footwork. I do think he has like a higher level of boxing skill, but Swag, thank you so much for the follow, man. But I mean, Wilder's not about skill. He's more about just pure raw power, which is what makes him so unique, man. And so it's like, it's hard. Because, like, he's just he has that X factor, which always makes him interesting. And lost his Chael Sonnen. Oh, my God, dude. Chael Sonnen, I have mixed feelings about that dude a little bit. I love him and hate him at the same time. He's kind of incredible, but also ridiculous. Bones is finally going to get humbled by someone his size. Oh, guess who's bigger than all those motherfuckers? I mean, Francis Ngannou is just a monster. He's just a monster. And then you got Polish Power. I mean, Butterbean murders Ngannou. So forgot you need Nightbot. I could add Nightbot Mini if you need that. Hold on 1 second. Let me check something. Don't have it already incorporated, but I can add that. I had Nightbot at one point, but Nightbot was like severely overkill when I would have people in chat sometimes. I can definitely add Nightbot though. Predictions? Generally speaking in chat, how does everyone else have it? I'd like to see TJ do well, but it's hard to root for a guy that, you know, hasn't been in the ring for so long. So I think that I want TJ to do well, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I just don't see how it could happen. Don't add Nightbot? No? Oh, I can definitely limit things that Nightbot does for sure. I've met a big UFC fan that refers to Dillashaw as a cheater. Any comments on that? I mean, I think that in general, you know, it's tough to not like bring that as a factor. The question I always wonder a little bit more, and I don't know UFC's policy as well as I'm more of a boxing guy, is how easy is it to cycle out that stuff in your system in UFC compared to VADA standards of boxing and stuff. But Usman versus Kobe Covington. These are all really good questions, by the way, Dylan. For Minnie is the UFC expert in the chat for sure. I'm more of a boxing guy, but I would say Usman versus Kobe Covington. I watched the first one. I've watched a lot of Usman in particular. Usman's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, man. I just don't see Usman losing. I don't even know how he makes weight. It's freakish, man. Freakish. And so to me, Usman beats Kobe Covington again. Because I've just seen him progress, and I haven't seen anything from Kobe Covington. Usman's just, he's a freak, man. He's a freak of nature, man. I could be wrong. It was like 6 pints ago, but he talked like it was something Dillashaw did in the ring. John Jones still somehow has a longer reach than Francis. What? That's freakish. Still not as crazy as Sonny Liston being, 6'1", and 84-inch reach. I know, man. Dude, I know. Yeah, he did rock him. This is getting, like, really fast. This is ramping up super quick. Kobe has the chance to end the Usman reign, but Usman has been fighting way more than Kobe. I think Usman's power will be too much for Kobe, and his wrestling won't do much against Usman. I think I respect what Kobe especially did in the first fight. I mean, to fight like that and take shots like that and keep going, man. Usman versus Wonder. I mean, I just don't see anyone beating Usman right now. He's just so dominant and complete. I just don't see it. And, like, mind you, I'm not like an Usman fanboy. I've not always been like a big Usman guy, but it's hard to deny the guy, you know? Nate Diaz gets slaughtered by Usman. Oh, man. I love Nate Diaz, too. I think Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor should be like, hey, let's have a fight together, boy. Let's do this. Let's do this again. Let's make a shit ton of money. And then let's just be done. You know what I mean? Nate Diaz is a character. He's like a total character. That's what I love about him. That's my opinion. I think that Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor should use each other because they're both huge characters. They're great for casual fans. They bring a lot of money to the table. Nate and Nick should fight each other. Oh, dude. Fight every week. Dude, they would make insane money. If they even fought like a couple times a year. You know? He always acts as if he consumed every drug known to mankind. I want to see Max Holloway fight again. I love Max Holloway. I thought Max Holloway got robbed in the last fight. I thought he won that fight, but Conor's drawing power and sinking. I mean, dude. He actually has a legitimate excuse for the last fight, too, even though he was getting ground and pound. Conor is literally cut out from, like, yes, he is they cut WWE style promos. I mean, that is Conor McGregor to a T. Absolutely, dude. Which is smart, man. I freaking love it. Yeah, I do too, man. Nate Diaz has only one fight in the UFC contract. So maybe, we can see him fight Jake Paul. I like the way you're thinking right now. And why over here? Khabib even touched on the other day. Conor is no longer in the elite. He can fight journeymen, but he is no longer a contender in any belt. That is true, man. No, that is true. This fight looks like it's going to end. Conor's not going to probably get a chance at a belt ever again. That's probably fair to say. So I don't think that's inaccurate at all. But Conor's always going to drive up ticket sales and people's interest for pay-per-view. So There's always money there, but how much money do you need, you know? He went God mode in his fight against, oh, dude. Yeah, against Calvin. McGregor got destroyed in the last fight. He had moments at the beginning that were like, oh my God, I love the way he's moving and everything. And then and then Dustin Poirier picked him up and just like started just pounding on him. Unfortunately, I think you're right. McGregor is, yeah, he is a draw. He is. And eventually, he's going to just say, I've made enough money. I don't want to fight anymore. When he does that, I don't know. You know? I think Diaz will fight again this year. He could fight Edwards, rematch Usman. Oh, man. That Edwards fight had that last round. It just killed me. It just killed me to see a fighter not get the finish like that. How was that not stop? I don't know, JT. I thought it should have been. I don't think this fight's going to go that much longer. Yeah, those elbows were absolutely brutal. McGregor will make millions as a, motivational speaker or something. I mean, he's already made a lot of money off of Proper 12. He's made a ton of money. He's got his own bar now. Like, he's got other revenue streams. He doesn't need much. I mean, if you want to, like, do other stuff, more millions. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're talking about he sold a large chunk of his Proper 12 stock. So I think he still has a little bit, or, I mean, if they want to use him for promotional purposes, they still have to pay him. So, he is no longer like a big shareholder for Proper 12, which was a brilliant, brilliant move from him. I never really liked the guy, but he was brilliant at one point. Yeah, he was. I feel like he really thought he was going to beat Floyd, then got surprised, and Floyd said, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough for the fans, and picked him apart in the latter rounds. Absolutely. That fucks with your head as a fight. I mean, he took years off because of that two-man. Even though Conor should have known he was in a different sport. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're not fighting scrubs at a different sport either. You're fighting top level dudes. Like you're saying, yeah, his hunger is gone. It's just really hard to like capture that or keep that. Not many guys can. I've often talked about hunger in the sense of guys like Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. These guys, it's just built into them, and even though they win everything they want, they just continue to find a way to be hungry, whether it's making up insults from other players or not. Like, they just do different stuff. So I've never had Proper 12, and I love whiskey, so maybe I'll just get an entire bottle of Proper 12 and drink the entire thing on the 12-hour stream we're doing. I know McGregor versus Floyd was not competitive, but yeah, it was a like overall, if you're going to do like a more unique kind of like fight like that, I thought that was a pretty fun lead up for it and everything like that. Yeah, I agree. The ref kept separating Floyd and I mean the ref was not good on that fight. I thought just in general, like, I do hate that he that this is gave the problem. Yeah, the Paul brothers, I feel like they generally like boxing, but I think that, like, at the same time they see the money and like what can be involved in that, especially with their fan base. Dude has children and he's screaming at his opponent's wife. I know, man. I know. What drew so many people to? Yeah, I mean, I would say it was just with combat sports. It's all about the classic Ali quote, and I've said this a billion times. Ali used to say, 50% of the people buy tickets to see me knock someone out. The other 50% buy a ticket to see me get knocked out. And with Floyd and Conor, that's exactly why people buy tickets and pay-per-view for them. It's and same thing with the Paul brothers. They realize it's exactly. That's a wise man once said, Muhammad Ali shit. Dude, this fight is awesome right now. It's unfortunately trend of making mockery of boxing. I mean, my general thought on it, Guinness Czar, is like, boxing doesn't need any help to make a mockery of itself in terms of the general amount of just nonsense that goes on with it. I do hope that through the Paul brothers that there's young individuals that want to learn about boxing and get more into boxing. They start maybe with the Paul brothers, and then eventually they learn who Ryan Garcia is because they're friends with him, and he's also a social media individual. And then maybe they get into like Canelo, because Canelo's obviously connected with Ryan Garcia. You know, like, that's what I'm hoping. Or maybe they go to a gym to try to learn a little bit about boxing. But I don't know. Like, I can't say that that's what's happening. I hope in my mind. That's what I always tell myself. Like, I hope that's what's happening. But I never know if it actually moves the needle at all. Connor's just like a movie star, yeah, or a musician. Once you get rich, your performance goes like down a little. Yeah, I agree with that. You predict Jake versus or Logan fight someday will beat. Oh man, that would be crazy if one of those fights beat Floyd versus Manny. Out of every person, why the Paul brothers? I mean, I think the Paul brothers saw a market of people that, I mean, it's great entertainment. And then to add Triller to the mix, I mean, it's a perfect mix, really, to be honest. Unlike any other sport, it's a perfect mix. I don't really think the Paul brothers are bad for boxing. I don't think they're terrible. Exactly. Yeah, I'm positive thinkers. Yeah, I try to be fairly positive about it. I just hope that like there's kids that are like, let's go to a boxing gym. I want to try boxing out. Because boxing in America especially needs all the help it can get. I see it like, celebrity basketball. Dude, MTV used to do celebrity basketball, and it used to be so entertaining. So good. Like, so good. I used to love the shit out of that. You know? Oh, Tall Kid, I'm glad to hear that you got into like Canelo and AJ through Jake Paul. Like, see, I was hoping. I'm glad to hear that too, man. I have to agree with like Guinness Czar. Like, that's great to hear. I'm glad to hear that there are people that are doing that. I know there's people that have found my channel on YouTube and stuff like that because of it. So, do I think that, like, the Paul brothers are like, they're great entertainment. They bring a lot of eyes to the sport, and their undercard usually at least feature some serious fighters, which I love that. I usually love that, like a guy like Badu Jack getting exposure, you know? Regis Prograis getting exposure. You know? Hell, Billy Joe Saunders was on like one of their undercards even. So like that's kind of cool. Like I kind of like that a little bit. Logan has pillow hands. Logan just, I mean, he's nowhere near the same level as Jake. Jake Paul reeks of insecurity. He definitely reeks a little bit of like, he's just not certain of who he is a little bit. I don't know, man. I think he realizes he's got like a public persona. Wow, that spinning back fist was huge. Like he plays it up, I think, a little bit. He wants to be the bad guy. He wants to be the bad guy, which I get. Paul brothers wouldn't be getting as much attention if more big fights were happening. That's true. Like, people are mad at like Logan and Floyd. Be mad at the people like Spencer Crawford not happening. That's Tall Kid is just speaking some facts here. I agree with that. I do think the boxing community in general and like the ABC belts are to blame for more damage to boxing than anything, you know? Paul brothers are putting on fun fights, so I'm fine. Yeah, I mean, like, we watch them on here as just purely fun. It's just, you know, and they do it like on a Sunday night sometimes. So it's like, yeah, let's just watch a Paul brothers, you know, exhibition craziness thing and just enjoy it. I think Logan, I think that like he can talk about passion, but being committed is another one, man. I feel like both of the Paul Bros attempt the Ali trash talk, but doesn't quite work. Both for yeah. I mean, probably they don't go to the Ali level. I mean, Ali was certainly the greatest of all time. That's for sure. Was Ali and a great command of the English language. I think in general, like the Paul brothers are never going to be at that like quick wit level. Wit equals win. Yeah, I mean, you're never going to get that quick wit kind of thing, but I think they know how to play to the audience. I mean, I got your hat. When they did that to Floyd, the way that went so crazy viral kind of blew my mind. Like, they just know how to, like, they are perfect for the WWE, man. Like, the Paul brothers are perfect. Like, if they don't stick with boxing, like, they should definitely do some WWE stuff. Because they are, like, absolutely perfect for it. They're athletic enough for it. They could definitely promote it well. Like, they know how to do the trash talk for, like, that level. You know, like, I feel like they're like, made for that kind of thing, man. Jake is insecure about his height. He said he's only 1 inch shorter than 6'2" Logan, but he's clearly like closer to like 3 inch. Yeah, you know. And I also think it's tough. Like, I mean, guys like Logan and Jake, you're in the public eye. You're gonna put a lot of garbage out there. You know, like you're gonna be the persona that like makes you money, right? I just hate that people that are able to make more money than me. I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. We have a firm belief here about Rolly Romero. We've talked about Rolly on here a lot and trash Rolly a ton on here for a reason. Ali was as sharp as a tack, dude. He was so good. We watched one of his interviews actually on Friday night. Actually, to your point, New York. Yeah. Watch his interview. Dude was, dude. Unreal how smart he was and how quick-witted he was. It's like, I love, the other person I love that's like similar to Ali, but not like, in terms of like, it wasn't trash talk, but it was like Bruce Lee could sit there and like pontificate and have like this incredible like quotes and stuff like that. And you're just like, wow, this guy is so intelligent. Like, same thing with you're saying about Ali. Like, you know, yeah, that was an incredibly good fight. If there's anyone to blame, it's blame Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather definitely started keep your O kind of situation for sure. Logan's fight against KSI had Donovan, Haney, and Saunders. Oh my goodness. I forgot that Haney was on that. You know? It's nice, Vicky. You read Mayweather? I mean, the Mayweather illiteracy is one of the funniest things ever. The Logan brothers are fucking geniuses. But yeah, dude, they know exactly, dude. Exactly. They should be in sales and marketing. Dude, they are really smart about pushing that stuff. It was fight of the night for sure. I think I agree with you, man. I agree. That was a really good fight. The backpack full of money is a bit much, just a little bit much. But yeah, it's because I don't have one. I mean, exactly. Why you have a backpack? You need to read. Dude, I mean, even Logan, when he was talking trash to Floyd, he did a video where he's like going through and he's like spelling out like Floyd's name, and then like the W fell. He's like, oh, the W fell. Oh, well, you don't need that anyways. And it was just like, it was actually like a really funny trash talking video. You know. Oh, absolutely. Like the Paul brothers also were smart enough to learn how to use YouTube to make their millions. As someone that does YouTube content, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not as easy as it seems. So Wait. 50 Cent offered $10K to Floyd if he could read a page of Harry Potter. Is that real? I gotta Google. I have to Google that. I have to Google that. I mean, if that's true, man. Yeah, no, he did. There's a video. It's from 6 years ago. Oh, boys, we're going to put this on. We are going to put this on. Absolutely, we're going to talk about this. Hold on. Let me mute my fight so I don't get in trouble with Papa Dana. We're going to put this on. Sound it out, Flo. I mean, okay, let me get this set up. This is too funny. This is too funny right now. All right, here we go, boys. I've never seen this.
Woke up, I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance. Say fuck that nigga. This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man. A phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, that he'll put it on the actual show, so you can read it on the show. We don't want to put pressure on you. We know you can't pronounce those words in that Harry Potter book, so we're gonna let you read Cat in the Hat.
That's incredible. I never knew that. I never ever saw that, ma'am. I never saw that. That just made my fucking night. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. That was it. That was amazing. 50 Cent. So you guys want to hear a funny story about 50 Cent? Or a really interesting story? I don't know if you guys ever heard this story or not about 50. So 50 Cent was he had a music contract that he had to sign. And he's going through it and he's like, okay, cool. Signs it. And I think this was like 3-4 years ago. Yeah, about 3-4 years ago when like he was just sitting there and he started like, I think his accountant or someone in his group called him up and they're like, dude, Fiddy, you have ungodly amount of money right now. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about, dude? And what happened was in the contract he signed, they gave him like, I don't know, massive amounts of Bitcoin, like 5,000 Bitcoin or just something like a really good amount of Bitcoin. And this is when Bitcoin was at like even $11,000, and it was starting to hit like 20 and then 30K, like 3-4 years ago. And so 50 Cent out of nowhere like realized he had this giant pile of money from like they gave it was probably more than 5,000. It was some obscene amount. And that's how 50 Cent like had this insane amount. Okay, here it is. Yeah. Asset manager, nickname 50 Cent, made $1.1 billion on Bitcoin in 5 months. That's a Bitcoin person. Let's see what the actual 50 Cent. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna throw this up. I knew I had like read this and I was accurate about like. Here we go. Rapper 50 Cent just realized he's a Bitcoin millionaire. So this is yeah, he didn't even know. Like I think he like had no idea. 50 Cent's decision to accept Bitcoin payment for his 2014 Animal and his Animal Ambitious album has netted the Grammy a winning multi-million-dollar windfall. Celebrity gossip website TMZ reported that 50 Cent raked in about 700 Bitcoins after agreeing to accepting payment. Yeah, I thought it was more than that. I thought it was more than 700 Bitcoin, but anyways, that's the whole Bitcoin story with Fiddy. Where actually he, surprisingly, that was like a crazy smart move. There's also a video on YouTube where a guy wanted to show people that like Bitcoin's like real money. So he took Bitcoin and he bought a pizza with it. And this was like in 2013 or something like that. And he paid for one pizza, he paid 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza back in the day. I get Bitcoin I get it. Shrek, think of it this way. The market decides value on everything. So let's say you're in a market, like I lived in Washington, and like that state in particular loves Toyota trucks because Tundras are made actually in, Toyota Tacomas, and obviously you have Tacoma, Washington, and trucks are made in Washington and stuff like that. So they have a huge affinity in general for Toyota trucks. Toyota products in general, they love Toyota cars. Dude, Tacomas are amazing trucks. They're great. I mean, Toyota, I have a Toyota 4Runner, and it's a 2005, and it's a V8, has less than 100,000 miles, and the thing's a fucking tank. It's the best car I've ever driven in my entire life. Heated seats, everything, all leather. It's amazing. So the whole thing is, if you want to buy a Tacoma, let's say in Washington, it's really hard because the value is so high in that state. If you go to another one, the market might declare that you can get it for a lot cheaper. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Essentially, people have established a certain value to it. And the thing with crypto is it can go up and down really quick, as we saw with Dogecoin, with, Elon going on SNL. So it's not the safest thing to invest in, but it's, if you know what you're doing and you're, smart about it. I mean, I think TJ is going to have issues. That's my prediction. Butterbean coin, let's do it, boys. Let's do it. I think Corey's probably going to win this. I want TJ to win because I think it'd be a great comeback story if he does well, but to be out of the ring this long, and I'm gonna predict probably Corey will win. But I just don't know enough about what TJ's been doing to get ready for this. Butterbean coin is 0.669 cents. Hell yeah. the big thing with like crypto and stuff like that, is you really got to be on top of it, like super on top. Actually, the Paul brothers are pushing their like they're kind of like pumping and dumping these other kind of cryptocurrencies. I can't remember the one that like Logan's been promoting. Dig Doing or something like that. Dig Doing Coin or something like that. Yeah, it's a crypto scam, man. So the problem I have with it, yeah. The problem I have with it is that essentially they're promoting this stuff, being like, this is awesome. And they're getting into it really low cost, like at the very, very base, and being able to pump some money into it. And then eventually let's say they got it for like, I'll make stuff up, but like a penny, right? And then they push it up to 40 cents and then they just dump it. It's a pump and dump scheme. That's just trusting a baby with a lighter. I mean, it's not what I would do. You know? So, by the way, guys, we have some new people in the chat. Thank you guys for stopping by, man. Guinness R, Swag, we got NY. Thank you guys for stopping by. We do boxing news on Wednesday night. We do classic fight night on Friday night, and then we do a stream like this every Saturday night. So thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, JT, exactly. Hello, new people. It's great. We are at 102. We're at 102 followers now. So we are definitely going to be definitely going to be doing that 12-hour live stream now. And at the end, I'll put up my Butterbean trailer again so you guys can watch that. Man, this card went fast. I feel like this card went so fast. I've only been live streaming for an hour and a half. This feels so short for me. I think TJ looks really super good in terms of shape. He looks incredible in terms of shape. Six Streams chat was discussing politics. It was getting heated, and someone randomly said, "Hey, yo, anyone interested in BBC?" Dude, I don't get it. I just don't get it, man. I don't know about you guys, and I'll just be very blunt with you guys. I don't give a shit what your politics are. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what party you want to support or whatever. I don't care. I just don't care. I just like that you guys want to talk about this stuff and hang out. That's it. That's all I care about. Butterbean 2024? Dude. It is too divisive. And you know what my big thing is, Shrek? Here's my number one thing. There's a reason you'll never hear me talk politics on this channel ever. Ever. Is everything is political and you get it shoved down your throat non-stop. Whether it be other sports other than combat sports, other like I don't know what you guys do for work or, you know, school or whatever. I'm sure it's also that mixed in. Movies have a lot of political messages. TV shows have a lot of political messages. Music does. Social media platforms are just constant political messaging. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe we can just like tune that out for a little bit. And just talk about Butterbean. Not the Butterbean trailer. Okay, we don't have to. Yeah, not the Butterbean trailer. There's no politics in Butterbean's trailer. That's for damn sure. So I'm okay with people spreading awareness for diversity, but so much people are arguing about exactly. There's a time and a place for everything. And look, I'm also one of those people that will just be honest with you. That's not my job. No, you can lose friends over it. I know people that have argued. I've had arguments with family members about it. It sucks. So, you know. Keller Phelps was robbed. Maybe coming in with the hot take. Okay. I was like, okay, Minnie's coming in with a hot take over here. Like, I'm like, all right. I can argue with you on it. Oh God. Am I the only one who finds these small arena? Dude, I do too. Aesthetically pleasing for sure. You think TJ might actually sub him in one round? The thing I always wonder about guys at this age, I mean, TJ's so much smaller and everything, but once you hit that age, you got to wonder how much is left in the gas tank. That said, TJ looks incredible shape. Like, phenomenal shape. I never ever look at any of the. I literally click out of. Make sure those chats just. I don't see them. I never look at any of those chats. Oh, they're always by submission. I didn't know that many. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, boys, main event. Get ready. Tap machine Corey. Yeah, huge height difference. That's a big height difference. But I feel like TJ just looks well built. Really well built. I wonder that all the time, JT. Sorry. I wonder that all the time. If any of these guys are like, hey, baby, what's going on? I love Bruce Buffer, man. I love how he hypes up the fighters. I love it, man. You like fight nights in the Apex, yeah. Dana's a wild man, I bet. I'm sure there's something in the contract that they can't fraternize with other UFC, you know. I'll tell you this much. Corey's focused on one thing, man. It's time! TJ I know, man. This is like I love Bruce Buffer, man. A lot of pressure here for TJ. Bruce is like the best, man. He is the best. I feel like TJ probably has more pressure on him. He starts jumping around while screaming. It's like a child on Christmas. I know. And part of it is like when I first saw it, I was like, this dude's like really like over the top. Really over the top. And now it gets me so hyped. I hope yeah, I know. Herb Dean's been doing lately, but Heart says TJ, Brain says Corey. Yeah. Whoa. I mean, Michael Buffer is so he's so like very sanitized, very like he's been doing it for a very long time. Whoa. Whoa, that flying knee. This is a very weird position to be in. This is one of the weirdest positions I've ever seen. What the hell is going on with this? TJ, this looks like... Oh, wow. Okay, TJ got out of it. It was like one of those very bizarre situations. As a boxing fan, MMA stances look so... I know, me too. I agree with that. And sometimes when their hands are really low, I'm like, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. What's in God? I mean, Mike like 70 and girlfriend 30. Man, I gotta say, for TJ to be out of the ring this long, he looks pretty damn good. It was like a crazy flying knee, and then it turned into like... Oh, yeah, dude. Both the Buffer brothers are just legends. But I like Bruce a lot. I like his style. Man, TJ's looking... He's looking a lot better than I expected for a dude that hasn't been in the ring for 2.5 years. This is like really impressive to me. And what's also interesting is, see the height difference? There's a height difference there, but look at how much Corey's like bending down and kneeling down. That height difference is almost non-existent. He's not utilizing it at all. Look how much him and Corey look like they're almost this. I mean, him and TJ and Corey look like they're the same height right now. That's when you like bend down and make yourself smaller. You know what I mean? Like, there's a height difference there, but it's not changing your prediction to TJ. TJ just looks really good right now. If TJ wins, I mean, that's massive. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He fights like he's 6'2". I mean, sorry, 5'6". God, 6'2". TJ's got to be careful right here. Armbar. I mean, these are really good hammer fists from Corey. Yeah, Corey's not using his reach at all. He's trying to capture TJ in these submissions, which I think are smart, but he can't get anything substantial. Especially with that reach, if you can extend something. See, this is why I like Daniel Cormier. DC gives like great ground game analysis. I love his wrestling analysis. This looks so... I know. Like, this is so not like... the norm of what you see, especially in boxing. Oh, dude, I think DC's like... I think this is like the perfect job for him, man. Wow, Corey took some shots. Wow. Sheesh. TJ looked really good, man. He looked really good. TJ looked really good, man. The question is, and maybe Minnie, I'd love to see what your take is on this. Do we think that TJ is going to be able to do this kind of physicality for 5 rounds? You know what I mean? Do we think he can continue this for 5 rounds? He looks in amazing shape. Tall kid, what's going on, brother? I think Dillashaw, right now, looking at him, that was a lot of energy, man. That was a lot of energy. Those small guys usually can go 40 minutes, yeah. I'll say TJ, I expected to see some ring rust. I thought I'd see him be over aggressive or nervous to engage. He looks awesome right now. Yeah, Corey's not using his reach, height, 0 advantages right now. I mean, you would never know that TJ was out of the ring for 2.5 years, man. That's impressive. That's really impressive. And then you come into this situation where people are going to be hostile towards you. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure here. Wow! Dillashaw, that move right there to get out of that. Oh, man. I like the switch stance right now from TJ quite a bit. Sandhagen's doing a good job boxing right now. Thing I like about Usman is how he uses the jab very well. Not enough of the UFC. Oh, I agree with that, Shrek. The jab is the best punch in all of combat sports. And Sandhagen's actually using his reach right now a little bit. Yeah, Sandhagen should. Is TJ's knee hurt? I don't know. I mean, it got wrenched on. It definitely got wrenched on a little bit. I don't know how much that actually plays into him being hurt right now, but it does make me wonder. Oh, they definitely look like they're in different weight classes. Their builds are very different. Oh, Sandhagen wobbled him, dropped him. Kind of a flash knockdown, but great. Sandhagen's really coming back this round. Some beautiful boxing right now from Sandhagen. I mean, just great care of caring about that. Oh, that right hand from Sandhagen, man. Oh, man, TJ is bleeding. The timing of Sandhagen right now is on point. That's a shitty spot. It's not the worst spot, but it's not a good spot. That's a bad spot. I know a little bit about that spot. I know a little bit about that spot. I've kind of have some stitches there. I know exactly what that's like a little bit. Oh, beautiful right hand. Open that up. I mean, Sandhagen has upped his game considerably. Oh, that flying knee. Wow. Sandhagen is looking so sharp right now. TJ's going to have some issues seeing out of that eye. Oh, that's going to be a real problem. I think to your point, JT, I bet his corner says exactly what you're talking about. Go to the ground. Go to the ground. Then you can feel things. You don't have to worry about eyesight as much. Stand-up game's all about eyesight. Oh my God, that blood from TJ is just all over the place. Yeah. You think it's going to be stopped? I think it'll keep going. I hope it does. Yeah, no. Sandhagen's looking really good right now. I like what he's doing quite a bit. Good, no commercials, boys. Oh, man. Yeah, I'd give round 2 to Corey as well. Sandhagen just did awesome work. Awesome work. Oh, yeah. I love how they're muting. They're muting on ESPN. The corner swearing. Dude, these guys are literally destroying each other's faces. Like, I think a few swear words are okay. That's a Mystic Shrek prediction. I love it. Close to a 10-8. I love that they do more 10-8s in UFC. Thing that cracked me up was how UFC 264 was they censored the word bollocks. No, for sure. Come on, man. Especially the British, they love to swear, man. Oh, a little bit behind the head. A little bit behind the head from TJ. But now he's coming in like, my Christian soul can't handle the word bollocks. That eye's already going to start bleeding right now. Don't mess with the Vaseline, TJ. Don't mess with it. All right. Let's see what... I mean, Sandhagen had great work with the jab. Oh, nice striking skills. Last round. Can he continue to do that is the question. This is quite the fight for TJ, too, to come back and be in this fight. I mean... The problem is when they get into moments like this, it's going to wipe all that Vaseline off, and TJ's just freaking bleeding like a stuck pig right now. I mean, TJ is just bleeding everywhere. So if I'm him, this is not a bad idea. Half naked girl on TV, but we can't hear shit in the corner. I know, dude. TJ needs to bring this to the ground. That cut is so mean, dude. Oh, man. Sandhagen doing a great job boxing. UFC will censor swear words, but make sure to zoom in on every dislocated body part ever. My favorite is when when we saw, like, what was it? Like, Wildman, like, kick Hall's leg and his leg just break instantly. Or, like, Conor McGregor break his leg. And they have to show slow-mo replay, like, up close. I'm like, come on, man. The cut is nasty. It is. It's a really bad cut in a bad location. It's not the worst location, but it's not good. This could be a good takedown right here for TJ. This is his moment. Definitely could do something here. No one goes, oh, hot dog. Another dislocated ankle. This could be a good spot right here for TJ. I think this is where he can pour this on for the last 2 minutes and win this round. I'd give the first round to TJ, and if he can continue to do the same stuff, win this third round. You can tell that TJ switched. See how he's switching his eye to be the dominant side, his left eye? He's even moved where he's like holding that guard up. You can see that TJ definitely is having to work with that cut in a nasty way. I mean, TJ's coming back this round pretty well. If he can finish this last bit of this round, this last minute, he will take this round. I feel like this is going to be a... Oh, yeah, TJ. Dillashaw is doing a really nice job this round. He adapted well. That cut is no joke. This is a great round right now. Really good round. His face is so brutal. I know, man. Is he holding his hands over his eye because he can't see? I think so. I think because what he's doing is, yeah, I'd give that round to TJ. What he's doing is he was initially kind of putting it here, higher up on his head, like this. And that's to protect the temple area in particular. Because if you get hit in the temple, you're screwed. And it seemed like that's what he was kind of using as like, hey, I'm going to box and fight kind of situation. What he did is he shifted that down. You saw him shift that down to more closer to cover kind of a good portion of that eye, almost like a traditional shell for boxing. And that was so that he could protect that more eye area, knowing that that's going to be a target, which is like, whoa, that's a huge gash. My God, that gash is massive. That is a Badu Jack size gash on that eye, or a Tyson Fury size gash. Yeah, hit after the horn for sure. This is some really high level stuff, really smart words right now. Round 4, there will be a KO. Shrek coming in. Coming in. Who do you think won? Fight's not over yet. I'm favoring TJ 2 rounds to 1 to Corey. TJ has done really good, man. That cut is brutal. I feel like TJ's made some nice adjustments right now. I love the kicks, man. Oh no, it's still going right now. By the way, Jamin, if you need a link, just let us know and my chat will help you out there. Good round right now. Good start to this 4th round. TJ's doing some nice work. TJ's doing some nice work. There you go. Shrek just pointed out. If you Google 6 streams, there you go. Yeah, the chat's garbage. I mean, this is a smart tactic right here for TJ to just slow the fight down. TJ's doing a good job. Slow the fight down a little bit. I like the way he's winning these exchanges right now. I don't like when he's trying to lead with his right eye. Definitely stay on that left eye dominant stance where it's more orthodox rather than southpaw. I mean, it could happen, Trek. It could definitely happen. My goodness. Right now, oh boy. The boxing right now, the way they're going about it is excellent. TJ's doing a nice job, though. He's being patient. He looks very confident. Sandhagen is looking a little bit more rushed and not as sure of himself. I predicted Charlo can, because Castano was hoping for a mystic Shrek strikes again. I you Sandhagen, don't let this go to the judges. Absolutely, JT. Absolutely, do not let this go to the judges. Especially if he wins this round the way he is, do not let this round go away. Because if it does, they're gonna give TJ this round. He's gonna win 3-2 right now. If you're Sandhagen, it's a bad idea to let this go to the judges. Good point by DC. This is, I mean, I did not expect there to be so much drama in this fight. I thought TJ would look rusty and like not on point, and Sandhagen would maybe like come in and like take his time, and I was totally wrong. Yeah, don't let the doctor stop it before the 5th round. Absolutely, man. I mean, if you're gonna let round 5 happen. That cut is huge on TJ though. That's a mo. Yep. That round was a TJ round. I will say this. JT has it 2-2. I can see that. This round has to be non-stop action-packed for TJ. He has to completely dominate this round. Oh my God, that his cut man TJ's doing pretty damn well. Doesn't look tired. I agree with that. TJ doesn't look too tired. Neither guy looks all that tired. Both guys look like they're in excellent condition right now. To be in the 5th round and have this much energy, I think we're going to see a great 5th round. Wow. You hear that? You hear that, JT? DC's agreeing with you. He just said, like, I would not feel confident about that round for TJ. He definitely agrees that, like, that very much could have been a Corey round. So to your 2-2 score, I think that could be, you win if if DC agrees with you, man. Oh, Jaden, what's going on, man? Sandhagen, I think definitely. Oh man, Jaden. Yeah, man. If you're a big TJ fan, oh man, TJ's just dominating right now. Man, that right eye of TJ is brutal. Oh, is he gonna get it the takedown? I don't think so. Upset City. I gotta say, I really enjoy TJ's fighting style, man. I have to say, I really enjoy TJ's fighting style a lot. That eye is just covered in blood. Sandhagen, I think he's trying to play it smart, but he's got to be a little bit more explosive, a little bit more aggressive in the later part of this round for sure, to steal this round from TJ for sure. I like how he's trying to utilize space. Oh, that was a great exchange right there for Sandhagen. The cut was from a punch. Um, yeah, there's Sandhagen. Yeah, yeah, Shrek. Sandhagen definitely needs to go a little bit more for the kill. The last part of this round, he needs to keep doing this because as of right now, this round's pretty darn up in the air. And I think TJ's had some good moments, but I think Sandhagen's had some really good moments. Let's see if both guys go to war this last minute and 20. Sandhagen's picking apart Dillashaw right now. Sandhagen winning the round, but will the judges give him the victory? That's a huge question. This is a tough round to judge. A bunch of these rounds are really tough to judge. Your mom's in Vegas and just got a tattoo? What'd she get, Jaden? What'd she get a tattoo of? I love tattoos. Sandhagen's doing a good job right now. Who's going to end it with a little bit of flash? You can tell that Dillashaw wants to... Oh, there we go. So land some big shots there at the end. Better be Butterbean tattoo. Guys, if we hit 1,000 followers, I'll get a Butterbean tattoo. Wow, that was a close round. That is so good. Oh my God, his eye. Oh, Shrek, you can hold me to that. I have quite a bit of tattooing on me that you guys don't ever see, so. Great fight. Great fight. Great fight. You think Corey won the last round? I think you can make that case for sure. I say 3-2 Sandhagen, but judges give it to Corey. Oh yeah. TJ's gonna get it 2-3. I mean 3-2. For sure. I agree with you, JT. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think that JT did enough to steal some of those rounds. I think he did enough in a lot of those rounds. Oh my goodness. Takedowns and dominance in terms of like octagon generalship, I'm gonna put it. This is a really good one. Yeah, run this back again. I want TJ to win, Jaden, but I don't always get what I want. Wow, that gash is huge. That's a huge cut. Oh. Oh. 48, 47. Oh! Oh! Oh boy. Oh boy. That cut's huge, man. Yeah, no. JT, you called that for sure. You definitely were on team TJ. Minnie, I think, or very early on, came and said that he thought that TJ was gonna win. Minnie, I think, was like initially thinking that Sandhagen would win, but yeah, I mean, good to say. I mean, it was tough. I just don't. This is my big thing. Mystic Shrek strikes again. My big thing with this kind of fight is, look, I just don't know how judges score certain elements of UFC to a degree. If you push a guy against the cage and have like a good position on him, how much does that count? How much does it count when you have good positioning on a guy on the ground? How much does takedowns matter? It's harder to judge and be like, just from the general eye test sometimes when it's really, really close fights like this, it's really hard to kind of like know how much they weigh some of that stuff. We'll be doing this next weekend too. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing UFC Vegas next weekend because and then after that we'll do UFC 265 for the 12-hour stream. Really good fight though. Really good fight. Yeah, I think Minnie, I think very quickly, before even a round was done, was like, yeah, no, I think TJ's going to win. Oh, Corey's not taking this well. Yeah, I just don't know if he gets points for like non-takedowns, you know? Corey is salty for good reason. For good reason. Oh, dude, TJ impressed me too, man. That was a great fight by him. His leg's hurting him. He's limping out right now. We got the Uriah Hall one next weekend. I love that dude. He is a beast. He is a beast. Okay, boys. So look. Tonight has been, I mean, we're already at 8 o'clock. We're at 8 o'clock where I am currently. It's not that late. For our normal, like, fight night kind of thing, it's not that late. So, I think we should turn it into a little classic fight night and do a few more fights. Do at least one more fight. oh, no, Jaden. It was super close. I think the last round you could give to Corey, honestly. And I think that a lot of people felt like TJ won, but it was tight. It was very tight. Oh, you're disappointed for like 5 minutes? I'm sorry, brother. By the way, Jaden, down in the description on YouTube, I have my live channel I'm going to be switching to. So I won't be doing live streams on this channel anymore on YouTube. So what I thought I would do, we'll watch some more like classic boxing, classic fights, for sure. Let me get something kind of like set up. And we'll do that tonight because, you know, I thought it was a good fight. I enjoyed it, but I think we can talk a little bit more about boxing and just a little bit more fight. Maybe for like at least one more fight. We need one more fight. Right, guys? We need one more fight. I think that's fair. And let me think of something really quick. What's a good one? Oh, I have an idea. Let's see. Here we go. I know exactly what I want to watch. Yes, Glove Talk. Yes, Glove Talk live streams. Exactly. Thank you so much, Jaden. That's where I'll be doing it. I did a whole video about this on, or we talked about it on the live stream on Wednesday. It's just like YouTube basically punishes me for, you know, doing live streams right now on this channel. So, hold on. Before I go, let me put up. Find it. Okay. I'll put up the trailer really quick, and then we'll watch a awesome video. I think one of my favorite videos. And then we'll watch a little bit more boxing stuff, guys, before the end of the stream. We got to have a little bit more, just a little bit more. So.
Following is a state secret, gentlemen. Disclose it to any party, and you will be subject to prosecution.
In a world with garbage boxers, there stands a man, a legend, some say a boxing god. No, it's not Ali. No, it's not Mike Tyson. It is Butterbean. One man is here to save the sport, who is pure destruction, pure power, pure America. Till one day, pure evil decided to use mankind's greatest hero against itself.
80, 90. That's 100%.
Mr. Stark?
Now the only man who can save boxing and kinda sorta not really the world is Butterbean. He'll have to fight his hardest opponent yet. Himself.
Do you see any? Wow, impactful short hook got to him. Look at that! Knocked down again. Unreal.
Now you gotta wonder what the corner's thinking. Are they gonna stop this?
Get up! Get up! Get up! And that does it. Unable to beat the count of 10. A knockout in the books.
Coming summer of 2024. If there is still something called movie theaters.
Okay. So I thought we could do a little classic fight. Let me find a good one. Oh man. This one is an interesting one. Jaden, hopefully you enjoyed it. That's my little Butterbean trailer I created. Get this set. There we go. Do you think TJ has what it takes to I mean, from what I saw, yeah, I think he could, man. I think he could. He has a lot going on there. So, this is what we're going to watch. I don't know how many of you guys know about Jack Johnson, but he's a legend, dude. This dude was incredible. Incredible. And this is a great video on it.
This is the audacious smile of one of the most controversial and inspiring men in sporting history. An iconic grin that enraged those who oppressed, and a symbol of hope to those who are not truly free. Born a second-class citizen in his own country.
Is this good? Is this what you guys want to watch, or do you guys want to watch other fights? Or I don't know if this is a little bit grim for some of you guys. This like not the kind of content you guys want. You want something a little bit more upbeat, maybe? You know what? Hold on. Let me do something really quick. Instead of doing this whole this whole angle. Let me do something really quick. I know what we can watch. Let me just... Okay. I want to keep it a little bit more upbeat. Just a little bit more upbeat. Just because that one, a little controversial, obviously. This one's going to be a little bit more fun. How about that? A little more fun. And this is a great video. Same creator. Classic Mike Tyson. Look at the...
In the Catskills of New York, a teenage Mike Tyson dreaming of greatness would look to old fight films for inspiration. The young historian studied and learned from the champions
Ooh,
of the past,
Shrek.
and no fighter had a greater influence on the young Tyson than Jack Dempsey. From his menacing scowl to his haircut and attire, everything he did was an homage to his boxing hero. The original little man that battered giants, the Manasseh Mauler, was savagery personified. Rainy Day Boxing brings you Jack
I thought
Dempsey,
this would be cool.
a boxing legend.
I love Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey is a very, very vicious man, ferocious and savage. So what you're saying, Mike, is that you regard Jack Dempsey as one of the really great boxers. Oh, man.
Oh, me too, Shrek.
Because of his ferocious intensity. There's no one like him. No one like him.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get some closed captions on this. There we go. Because it was hard to see what he was saying.
Because of his ferocious intensity. There's no one like him. No one like him.
Born 1895 in Manassas, Colorado, one of 13 children, Jack was raised in poverty. Determined to emerge from a life of struggle and make a name for himself, Dempsey left home in his teenage years and began his days as a traveling hobo. Jack made his living brawling men in western saloons for money. As a child, he developed his skills as a boxer by fending
love
off
Jack
bullies
Dempsey,
who
dude.
teased him for his high-pitched voice.
Nolly
So by
lost
the
to Larry
time he
Holmes
was a
15
teenager,
years.
Fighting was all too natural to him.
Yeah. Mike Tyson
By
called
clinging
Ali.
onto the brake beams
Saying he was
underneath
gonna beat
freight
on-
trains,
oh, yeah,
Dempsey
man.
traveled the West, visiting all
Absolutely.
the mining towns and challenging the biggest man he could find to a dust-up. With a knack for fighting, his fists were the tools he used to survive.
In comes this rough and tumble man from the West, a fierce puncher, a man who has been through the jungles. He has lived under the worst possible circumstances, and he comes in and he proceeds to knock out people. That's impressive. And so his reputation was built on the basis of his prowess as a heavy-hitting, rough, tough Manasseh Mauler.
I mean,
For years, people don't know. He was fighting as a hobo for years.
look at that
Losing,
style.
winning, get knocked out, having hundreds of fights, and his experience is so vast.
When I was young, I got knocked down plenty, Jack Dempsey would later recall. I wanted to stay down, but I couldn't because I had to collect that $2 for winning. I had one fight where I was knocked down 11 times, but got up to win. I had to get up. I was hungry. Someday, if you haven't eaten for 2 days, you'll understand.
From his fighting in saloons on sawdust floors, he was making a meal. The only fight he ever was knocked out in, he hadn't eaten in 4 days.
Turning pro at age 19, Jack began climbing the ranks,
Unreal.
sometimes fighting up to 21 times a year.
21 times a year, boys.
Dempsey had racked up 26 first-round knockouts, 2 of which were against the top 2 contenders. Jack had earned a title shot. Then champion Jess Willow was a giant of a man and was the heavy favorite to beat the rough-necked challenger. It was a modern-day adaptation of David against Goliath.
Look at
and it
this.
unfolded to be the worst beating in boxing history.
Jack Dempsey beat the living fuck out of him.
Right away, like a panther on a huge elephant. He got right on him, and he just beat the daylights out of him. I don't think Willard hit Dempsey once. He just went after him, and he could kill that man.
Look at the combination right here. This is what made Jack Dempsey such exciting and a great fighter. This is the ferociousness and waiting for his opponent to get up, like a
tiger. And it's rounds like this that made the public love Dempsey so much, and this is why I love him so much.
I mean, good question. I think that AJ's resume is better than Wilder's. I don't think there's anything controversial there. That said, AJ compared to Wilder, if this is really tough to say, but if you're looking at the two of them, right? AJ has a team of like 24 dudes for every little thing he needs, and he's pure. I mean, he's like built in a lab. Wilder is a good old boy from Bama that if he hits you once and touches you with his right hand, you're dead. So it's like when I see that, like, yeah, the resume goes to AJ for sure. But it's kind of more impressive what Wilder's done in a sense, from a guy that was sleeping in a truck to being like a heavyweight champion. You know, I like that he got a new trainer. Look at this.
At the end of 3 rounds, Willard has suffered a broken jaw, 2 fractured ribs, and 5 missing teeth. Jack Dempsey is heavyweight champion of the world.
An icon was born. It was the dawn of the roaring 20s, and Dempsey's reign as boxing's greatest draw card was just getting started. Jack and his team commercialized the sport. His bouts were an entertainment extravaganza, bringing in boxing's first $1 million gate.
$1 million gate,
no
dude.
greater draw in boxing than Anthony Joshua, who regularly fills up football stadiums, pulling in crowds of 90,000 people. Jack Dempsey would have mammoth stadiums specially made for his fights that pulled crowds of up to 120,000 spectators.
Dude,
Jack gained the
guys, come on.
in his era as
Jack Dempsey brought in 120,000 people and beat AJ. That's that's insane. That's unreal, man. That's unreal. And don't get me wrong, like what AJ does where he has like 100,000 people at like Wembley, that's still amazing. Like that's an incredible feat. And he sells it out like in less than 5 minutes. So
Tyson did in the 80s, and like Mike, Dempsey was depicted in a bad light by the media. He was stigmatized as a draft-dodging slacker who avoided the First World War.
The draft-dodging stories that would plague Dempsey throughout his career emerged.
Jack got a bad rap in World War I, but he had a very sharp manager named Jack Kearns. Kearns had him appear at a working site, and they had him with a sledgehammer in his hand and these working clothes on, except his patent leather shoes were showing underneath the pants. It made very bad press for Jack.
Oh, come on.
But that couldn't keep the fans away, as the public were enthralled by his wild, almost rampaging approach. Dempsey had a profound change on the fight game. Previously, fighters were stiff and tentative, rarely throwing punches and combinations. Boxing was safety first, and the fans were very welcoming to this new, aggressive champion.
Look at this. Mind you of anyone?
And as you can see, Dempsey was just a savage puncher. I think any punch he threw could take you out. He just threw punches with bad intentions.
The savagery that Dempsey
I love it.
displayed
I
had
love
never
it.
been seen in a boxing ring before. He was a killer.
Dempsey was a fighter. He came in advancing, bobbing and weaving, ready to tear his opponent apart. You could see his eyes, they were blazing. Couldn't wait to get to his opponent.
He would do anything to win. He was just a mean old critter, as they say.
Oh yeah, we can do some Dempsey fights. For sure.
Suddenly, at the count of 9, Carpentier leaps to his feet. 5 seconds later, Carpentier is down for good.
Oh my
Dempsey
God.
would crouch and go low, and he was sort of like a force of nature. Basically wanted to kill his opponent and rush across the ring, and people had never seen anything quite like that before. Boxing was more of a gentleman's sport before Dempsey.
Jack Dempsey stands out amongst the best. I mean, this was one man that electrified the crowd. He was like a volcano erupting. He left the people gasping for breath.
This was excitement. This wasn't safety first. This was safety last. Excitement was the name of the game, and Dempsey was feeding it.
Mike, they say that Jack Dempsey changed the face of the sport forever with a style that the public had never seen before. What was so
Absolute
unusual
animal,
about Jack
dude.
Dempsey?
Well, Jack Dempsey had the most unique distinction of being such a whirlwind action-packed fighter because of the fighter just a little bit before him was very conservative fighters, and Dempsey was just an action-packed fighter, a fighter that the people loved to see, and they weren't used to that type of fighting, and America fell in love with him.
I mean,
Jack Dempsey was a victim
you
of
can
his
see
own
how
success. As champion, he didn't fight often,
you can see
defending his
how
title
Mike
only
Tyson fell
6
in love with
times
this guy.
in 7 years. During his inactivity, he attempted to become a movie star to try to change his public image. Becoming civilized among the Hollywood elites, Dempsey was slowly losing the fighting spirit that took him to the title. And while he was busy making public appearances, Gene Tunney, the most threatening foe of
Gene
his entire
Tunney.
career, was
Oh
on
man.
the rise.
In the early
Dude, if you don't know about Gene Tunney, this dude was a bad man. Bad man in the ring. Holy shit. This is one dude this is this guy's name that like no one gets talked about. Super good boxer back in the day.
rounds, Tony seemed intimidated by the ferocity of Dempsey's assault. Later, the challenger would acknowledge, I had the feeling that he literally wanted to kill me, and I never had such an impression with any other opponent. But as the rounds went by, conditioning and science began to prevail over brute force.
From the beginning of the fight, it becomes evident that Tunney has done his homework. His countless hours of watching films of Dempsey have prepared him for every lunge and
Look at
rush of
this.
the champion.
The immense crowd is surprised that Tunney has obviously planned to take the fight right to Dempsey. Tunney continues to pile up points.
Tunney's superior boxing ability
I mean-
thwarted Dempsey's rushes. He was a counter-puncher, and Dempsey would rush in, throwing his punches rather wildly.
Look at that
In the first
beautiful
round,
jab,
hit with a
boys.
right that jarred
Look at
Dempsey.
this. Gorgeous boxing from Tunney.
Dempsey's taking a pretty good beating up to now. His face is badly swollen, right eye is cut and closed.
This is a tiring champion, repeatedly being beaten to the punch. It looks like Dempsey
Oh, I
is
know.
on
It's
pace
so
for a
calming.
KO.
Boxing
I love it.
brilliantly, Gene Tunney captured the heavyweight championship with unanimous decision over the Manasseh Mauler.
Gene Tunney was the new heavyweight champion of the world. Jack Dempsey was a disappointed and exhausted fighter.
Though many experts predicted that the loss to Tunney was the end of his career, the 31-year-old Dempsey did not agree. He wanted a return bout and win back his title. The second fight gets underway before more than 100,000 spectators. The majority certain that Dempsey will win back the crown.
Tunney dominated the early rounds, but in round 7, the tide dramatically turned.
Dempsey lands a potent right-hand counter, follows up with a series of 7 devastating.
Oh, we should watch Gene Tunney versus Jack Dempsey next week.
To a neutral corner. Only then does he begin the counter. Instinctively, Dempsey stays nearby. 5 seconds have elapsed before referee Barry is ready to begin the count. Gene looks hurt.
Oh, come on.
But here at the official count of 4, when 9 seconds have actually elapsed, he is looking at the referee and picks up the numbers. Tunney is up at the referee's count of 9. Unabashedly, he gets on a bicycle to stay away from the rampaging Dempsey.
Tunney was knocked down in the 7th round, but many believe it was the only round he lost.
And what nobody remembers is Tunney knocks Dempsey down in the 8th round.
Tunney has taken complete charge, bruised and exhausted. Jack Dempsey seems at the verge of being knocked out for the first time in 10 years. There's the bell. The fight is over. Gene Tunney overwhelmingly the winner.
That 7th round, the long count, and it is still probably one of the most famous moments in all of sports.
Dempsey's lavish lifestyle had caught up with him when met with a hungry, more determined challenger. But in defeat, Jack had finally found his place in the hearts of the people. Not long after, realizing his best years were behind him, Dempsey retired. Very few fighters achieved the popularity of Jack Dempsey. He was the first fighter to gain superstar status. The savage treatment of his opponents had the nation begging for more, and his rugged good looks and humble beginnings made him a working-class hero. Jack Dempsey emerged from poverty and made something out of himself, and will forever have his greatness preserved.
Maybe one of the greatest gate draws in the history of sports.
When Dempsey retired, they retired the title champ. That's how great he was.
Do you see anything in your own fighting that compares with Dempsey?
I would be a privilege, you know, like everyone compare me to him, but I know deep inside there's no one like Jack Dempsey.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe.
So, I thought, because we're on this kind of kick of like classic fighters, I love Minnie. I love that suggestion. I have a question though. Do you guys want to watch that fight? Or I have something about Sugar Ray Robinson. Because Sugar Ray Robinson is one of those guys that a lot of people don't. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson is one of my all-time favorites, and I love him for pound, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And we can watch a wonderful Boxing Legend TV did a great video on him, man. I know, like, classic Mike Tyson's so wholesome, right? Based off the time, I'll do this video on Sugar Ray Robinson, and then we'll probably end stream tonight. Just looking at what's going on. That way I can spend a little time hanging out with the wife. But I do want to give you guys a little extra because of, you know, we got done a little early for stream normal. So this is a incredible video done by Boxing Legend TV. If you don't know him, go check him out, man. This is a amazing. Does my wife like Butterbean? Yeah, I mean, my wife has she thinks it's like pretty funny. My wife has watched probably more boxing than she would have ever watched in her entire life because of me. And because she was like, I want to see why you're so like into this, you know? So I agree, Minnie. It was a great main event. So how many of you guys know about Sugar Ray Robinson? Like, how many people actually know about him in chat really quick? Like, is he... Butterbean is no joke. I mean, he's... Do you guys know a lot about Sugar Ray Robinson or no? Because, like, to me, he's the #1 fighter of all time. #1 boxer of all time. And I just love how this is well done. Super well done.
You could not be better than Sugar Ray Robinson. It's as if God said, let me create the perfect fighter.
Hey fight fans, welcome back to Greatest Hits here on Boxing Legends TV. Today, we have a very special video indeed, by far the most requested video on my channel, and for obvious reasons.
Even Sugar Ray Robinson past his peak was just about better than anybody.
Sugar Ray Robinson is regarded by the majority of boxing fans and historians as the greatest boxer of all time. The unprecedented speed, combined with the punching power that seems almost impossible for a man weighing 160 pounds to let off. And then you tie that in with the footwork of a ballerina and a genius-level ring IQ, and you're left with pure boxing perfection.
I love
big left hook with Gene Fuller. What's prettier than that? That's the greatest thing I ever saw.
As some of the followers of my channel will know, I personally do not hold Robinson as the pound-for-pound greatest of all time.
Ooh.
I actually have him 4th behind Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, and Sam Langford. But this is mainly due to the fact I rate a fighter purely off their resume.
Look at
And
that
while
resume.
Robinson's resume is
Look at that fucking resume, boys. 173, 19, and 6. I mean, I mean, come on. No, the co-main was definitely fight of the night. Both fights were really good though. Like main and co-main were amazing. Come on, 173 wins and 108 KOs. He has one loss. He has one loss as a KO. Yes, 173 wins, man. He has 19 losses, and only once has he ever been KO'd in his entire career. You're looking at someone that fought. You're looking at someone that fought over 200 times in his entire career. I mean, yeah, 6 draws. Exactly. This is why Sugar Ray Robinson, when you look at this and listen to some of these stats, guys. These stats are insane. You guys like having captions on, by the way? Like, he didn't have his first loss until like his 102nd fight or something like that. It's bonkersville. It's not even human. It sounds like a video game.
It's outstanding, to say the least. I think it's not quite up to the standards of the guys I'd put above him.
Come to Muhammad Ali. I am the man.
But when anyone asks me, who's the greatest boxer you've ever seen? Or who is your personal favorite fighter in history? The answer is always the same. Sugar Ray Robinson.
Oh, I saw him at his best. He was the best fighter.
Joe Louis.
Pound for pound.
For any of the younger viewers or slightly less informed boxing fans that haven't had the chance to get a good look at Sugar Ray yet, we promise you by the end of this video, you will understand why he is held in such high regard. If you guys do enjoy the video, please remember to help us out by smashing that like button.
Of him
as we've
waving.
really gone all out to bring you some of the highest quality Robinson fights.
Do we like the commentary?
Before turning professional in 1940, Robinson had an amateur career spanning 85 fights, and yes, he won them all. Most by knockout, scoring a staggering 69 with 40 in the first round. Not a bad way to announce yourself in the professional ranks. Unfortunately, as some
40 fights where he won in the first round.
of you may know, the first 10 years of Robinson's career was either not filmed, or film had been badly damaged beyond repair. Which just seems almost criminal when you glance over the resume and take a look at some of the great Hall of Fame boxers he beat in that time. The list includes Sammy Angut 3 times, Fritzy Zivic twice, all-time great Henry Armstrong, and of course, the epic 5-fight series with Jake LaMotta, where we saw Robinson lose his first and only bout in 132 fights.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely stunning number, considering the fighters he was competing
Look at
against
this.
on a regular basis.
Look at this.
In that time, he won the
It's crazy,
welterweight
man.
and middleweight world title. And bear in mind, there's only one recognized champion in each weight division, unlike the ridiculous amount of belts.
Yeah,
that people
one
today.
champion.
Take a little belt home and hold your trousers up. That's all that's good for. You ain't got no good belts, man. I've got the best belts. I've got the best. I'll be fighting for a WBO's world. So what's that? That's international. I'll tell you what I've done. I won the WBO International Continental, what you want to call it. I ain't even got the belt yet for it because I don't want it.
Fortunately, Robinson's talent was being recognized beyond the American border, and in 1950 he decided to venture out and display his talent across various European countries.
Oh, dude, in Europe, he just destroyed motherfuckers. It's brutal, man. It's incredible.
November 27th, 1950. Robinson, now with a record of 118 fights.
Hold on. Watch the timing of all these fights, by the way. It will blow your mind how quickly he was having fights.
With one loss, took on November 27th, 1950. Robinson, now with a record of 118 fights with one loss, took on the best middleweight that France had to offer, Jean Stark.
The fighting machine really gets cracking. In 121 professional fights, Robinson has lost only one. Hard hitting and clever, he's got everything. There goes a right and down he goes. But judging by what we've seen, the other guy ought to get the long end of the purse. He'll need it for repairs.
December 9th, 1950. Just a little over a week from his previous contest in France.
A week!
Robinson ventured over to Belgium, where he obliterated the Dutch champion Luc Van Dam in
He
4
fought
rounds.
a fucking week!
And here he comes as Sugar Ray Robinson gets in a killer. Van Dam's return to action is purely technical.
Give
Just
me
a
a
moment
break.
till Sugar is ready. And there it goes. And Van Dam has had it. They never come up when they go down like that.
Just 7 days later, on December 16th, 1950, Robinson was keeping himself busy and wiped the floor with French contender Jean Walzac, this time fighting in Switzerland. If you weren't counting, that's 3 fights in 3 different countries in 19 days.
Close. Walzac fights back, but there's no answer when Sugar Ray starts punching.
Come on,
into the
man.
body. Walzac follows, but a hard right to the stomach and whoosh!
That's
Did you see that?
insane. That's insane.
The Frenchman is game, but he's no match for the greatest fighting machine of the day. Round 6. Walzac is groggy now, ripe for the kill. A right and a left to the chin, and Walzac is down again.
Before heading back to America, Robinson destroyed the German middleweight contender Hans Stretz in his hometown of Berlin as a little Christmas
Same
present
month.
on December 25th, 1950.
In the same month. All these fights. He just had 4 fights in just December and destroyed all of them and had nothing but KOs. It's just, it doesn't seem real.
Possibly the most standout fight of Robinson's career took place on February 14th, 1951. The current middleweight champion of the world, Jake LaMotta, was the only man that had been able to defeat Sugar Ray to this point. He was the man that stood for the working class people of America. His style was almost like that of a street fighter. He had the will to win and a chin made of pure iron. Plus, his previous contest with Robinson had always made for good viewing up to this point.
LaMotta.
But this fight, known as the St. Valentine's Massacre, was just about one of the most hellacious beatings ever seen in a boxing ring.
LaMotta, by the way, if you don't know, this fun fact, LaMotta is the character for Raging Bull. So when there's a moment in Raging Bull where literally Robert De Niro is playing Jake LaMotta getting destroyed by Ray Robinson. And Ray Robinson's bah, 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 just like crushing him. And De Niro's face is just pure blood. And De Niro goes up to him, ding, 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 for the round. And you see De Niro walk over to Robinson, and he just goes, "You didn't knock me down, Ray. You didn't knock me down." And it's one of the most iconic film scenes of all time. And this is actually the back history for Raging Bull, if you don't know that.
Robinson had one goal from the opening bell, and that was to seek and destroy.
By Jake LaMotta, but Robinson has got it back. Look at this shot! Oh, great foot left to head. He wants the fight, and he nails it to the body, bangs the wrist, back upstairs. Look at Ray Robinson. What a terrific boxer. Look at the shots he's landing. This has turned out to be a pro round. Poor Jake LaMotta, who doubles into the rope. Wants to hold the left hand high, but he can't. Look at him bang those ribs again. Oh, I can feel it myself. Oh, another one right on top of the rope. He does not want. Look at these shots. He's being hit at will by the great welterweight champion, who's the boxing cup, the middleweight champion of the world, I believe. Look at the shots being landed at will because of all things. Oh, look at that right hand. What a shot. The Burr wants to stop the fight, and he has stopped it. It's all over. With a brand new world middleweight champion, his name is Sugar Ray Robinson.
Butterbean beats him, though. I mean, a 400-pound man back then would have been insane. Sugar Man, yeah. Yeah, dude, the dedication, just incredible.
July 10th, 1951. Robinson finally met his match in the ring. The British European middleweight champion Randolph Turpin had no thoughts about letting Robinson steamroll him, as he had all the other European fighters while on his second tour of Europe. Robinson had traveled back to France, Belgium, Switzerland, and Germany, but it was his first trip to England where he suffered his first defeat in 91 fights. In what would be a very scrappy contest from the opening bell, Turpin neutralized Sugar Ray's offense by tying him up close and landing hard shots on the
First loss in 91 fights. You beat Robinson, you're blessed. Absolutely, man. That's something that you would probably hold close to you and talk to anyone that would listen to you about. Like winning a Super Bowl almost. Like, it's incredible.
Inside for 15 rounds.
The two men affectionately embrace after 15 hard-fought rounds.
At this time in his career, Robinson was a mainstream celebrity in America. His loss against Turpin was big news and had people questioning whether he would ever get back to his best.
I promise you all I'll do the best that I can.
Watch this.
To bring the middleweight championship back here.
Watch
But as all great champions do, he wasted no time rematching Turpin and set the record straight as he scored a 10th round knockout.
Rounds 6 and 7. Robinson, although bleeding badly from a cut over the eye, won rounds 8 and 9.
Boom.
An explosive combination hurts Turpin.
Boom.
A crushing right hand sends Turpin to the canvas here in round 10.
Ray Robinson
Referee Goldstein
fucking
is watching
crushes
the action
him.
closely and steps in to protect
Crushes
Turpin
him.
from receiving further punishment. Sugar Ray has done it. Robinson has regained the middleweight title by stopping courageous
Ray
Randy
Robinson
Turpin.
crushes him.
Happy to have regained the middleweight
I mean,
championship
come on,
of the world.
man. No, he doesn't look 160 pounds.
April 16th, 1952. Hall of Fame middleweight Rocky Graziano finally got the bout he'd been calling for years. Robinson dazzled him with beautiful combinations in the first 2 rounds, but in round 3 he got caught by a snapping left hook as he moved in for the KO. Robinson got up at the speed of light, and within a minute flattened the Iron Chin Graziano with one of the most devastating right hands the boxing world has ever seen.
Get ready.
Graziano has scored the first knockdown.
Get ready.
And there goes his mouthpiece, and Graziano hits the canvas. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Shrek. That's so funny. You guys are so fucking funny, man. You guys make me laugh all the time.
December 9th, 1955. Robinson by now was clearly not quite the fighter he'd been 10 years prior.
Guinness, this is this community, man. I don't want to take credit for it because like Minnie and Shrek are just super fucking funny, man. They're so funny, and I'm glad that you're enjoying this community because this is what it's like a couple nights a week, and it's just super fun to have a good time with you guys and talk like this. Shrek, you're tempted to ban Minibot. You guys are the only 2 mods. So yeah, Guinness, I have to say, man, like they're 2 funny, really good guys having my community. I can't thank them enough.
He lost his middleweight crown in 1952 to Joey Maxim and retired to become a dancer and actor. 3 years later, he returned with a vengeance and regained the middleweight crown, once again proving he still had the speed and power to be pound for pound best fighter. As he
Unreal.
knocked out Bobo Olsen in the 2nd round.
In his second fight, there's a good left hook from Robinson, the supreme boxer. Added to that, he's got a great punch.
Can ban me
A
too.
great left hook from Robinson, another left hook, and Olsen's over. He's flat on his back.
That's funny,
The referee
Shrek.
takes up the count. Olsen's struggling, he rolls over. I don't think he's going to beat this count. And he's out. Sugar Ray Robinson, at 35 years old, has regained the World Middleweight Championship.
From this point on, it was clear Robinson was no longer the unbeatable fighting machine from a few years prior. But if his career would have started here, he still would have went down as one of the all-time greats. He lost
Insane.
and won back his crown to Gene Fulmer, scoring a knockout in the rematch that went on to be known as the Perfect Punch.
His fifth-round knockout of Fulmer was called the Perfect Punch.
But he was so smooth, if you do something wrong, you would counteract it. Big left hook with Gene Fulmer. What's prettier than that? That's the greatest thing I ever saw.
Later, he lost and regained his title once again, this time to the hands of Carmen Basilio, in what were both great fights where both men won by very narrow decisions. Another 4 years in the ring saw Ray rack up most of the losses you see on his record today. He tried desperately to win back his middleweight crown, but at this point, he wasn't merely 20% of the fighter he was in his prime. Sugar Ray hung them up for good in 1965 after losing a decision to Joey
I know,
Archer.
him versus
The crowd
Chavez.
recognized and loved Robinson for all the great fights he'd put on in his 25-year
I love
career.
this. This is one of my
And the beautiful
favorite
send-off
moments.
was enough to bring a tear to anyone's eye.
1 month after his final bout, thousands recalled the way it had been with a tribute to a native son. At long last, Sugar Ray took a final bow. Bert Sugar.
One time at the old garden, I overheard a father and son talking. The father was pointing at the garden marquee and telling his son, "That's the greatest." And one day the father said, "You're going to be able to tell your son that you saw the greatest. You saw Sugar Ray Robinson."
Ray Robinson, April 12, 1989. He was 67.
Whenever he fought, the world had a way of standing still. The center of the ring belonged to him.
Though his journey through life was a perilous adventure, his place in his sport is permanent. He has been judged the standard by which all boxers are measured. Ask those who saw him, and they'll tell you no one has ever been sweeter than Sugar Ray.
So I feel like that's a really fun about the great boxers like Rolly. I feel like that's a super fun video to watch just because it gives you so much context to how important Sugar Ray Robinson was and what he did. And I think that Boxing Legends TV is one of my favorites. He taught me more. We're gonna do one more video from him, then we're gonna call it a night. This one, guys, this was a fun stream. Oh, thank you so much, Shrek. This is a really. We'll do this last video. I keep saying this. My last video. I was gonna be gone before a few streams. Yeah. This one is Superhuman Defense, and this one's pretty incredible. I love this video. It's amazing.
When you think of boxing, you think of knockouts.
Good left hand, and down goes Williams.
Toe-to-toe action.
To get to the top, he is right now.
Inspiring comebacks.
Yeah, we're gonna still go.
And underdogs.
I will
achieving
absolutely link this channel. Hold on, give me 1 second. The link to this channel it's one of my favorites, dude.
To all my young fans out there,
this is one of the best channels. I've watched so much stuff from them over the years. They're really, 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 really good. Who would win, Butterbean or Butterbean? Well, I had it in the trailer that Butterbean wins. It's such a good channel. You could literally just binge watch so many of their videos. So I want to make sure to give them credit anytime I put their stuff on.
Impossible.
Hey, no problem, Minnie.
The most satisfying outcome of every bout should match up blow for blow with the scene from a Rocky movie.
It's a question of who wins it most.
However, in recent years, one particular art form has emerged as a new favorite for even the most casual of boxing fans.
Hopkins,
defensive
Floyd.
wrestling.
James Toney.
He must have thrown about 30 punches in this round, and none of them have landed. Oh my God.
Get ready, man. This is incredible.
Modern-day highlight reels have given an easier understanding to the casual viewer of exactly what tricks are being
Look
performed
at Mike
over
Tyson.
an often 40-minute period of each bout.
As anybody can see, I'm almost a master at evading the punches coming at me.
For instance, Floyd Mayweather's fights during the tail end of his career were often criticized by the masses for being boring and lackluster in action.
Yep.
And then, a couple of days later, a YouTuber uploads a defensive highlight reel of the fight, and people start to appreciate the special moments that got smothered by the barrage of offensive attacks in between.
Agarrarlo simplemente.
Simple, I couldn't catch him. He's very elusive. He's a great
Butterbean
fighter.
is too slick
That's
for
what happened today. I
Butterbean.
could not catch him.
Of course, fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux, Vasily Lomachenko, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. have all left a lasting legacy of defensive prowess, but it's certainly not an art form that's been invented or perfected overnight.
I would say the closest thing to Jack Johnson would have been Muhammad Ali.
As we enter the 1900s, Jack Johnson's skills were unparalleled and led him to easily outmaneuver some of the truly greatest and most underrated boxers in history, such as Joe Jeanette and Sam Langford. The ghetto wizard, Benny Leonard, stamped his claim as one of boxing's greatest during the 10s, as he became infamous for his ability to evade and counter like no man before him. The 20s belonged to the face of Boxing Legends TV,
Willie
Gene
Pep.
Tunney, an educated
Willie Pep, they're going to talk about. Willie Pep won a round one time where he didn't throw a single punch.
and scientific boxer that used to treat a fight like a game of chess. Not a popular style for the time, but it proved too much for titans such as Harry Greb and Jack Dempsey.
The world would see that defense meant nothing to this featherweight, dubbed perpetual motion.
Henry Armstrong's fights weren't always pretty, but similar to Roberto Duran and Mike Tyson, he mastered the defensive infighting technique and became a top 5 pound-for-pound all-time great.
Oh, yeah.
I just take my time, I stick him, pop, pop, keep moving, move on Foreman, keep moving, because he can't move, keep moving. He be trying to corner me, cut the ring off, tack him. Pop,
Ali,
pop, pop, pop,
man.
Muhammad Ali and Nicolino Loche were the kings of lateral movement in the 60s, always prepared to take a risk to keep the fans on the edge of their seat.
A very popular Sugar Ray Leonard.
For me, the cut of the line for the modern-day skill
Ali
gap
was
started in the 1970s.
as cool
the
as it
golden
gets,
era of
man.
boxing with rising stars like Ray Leonard, George Foreman, and Marvin Hagler. However, the youngest world champion in boxing history, Wilfred Benitez, had the elusive moves that ruled the roost.
Whipping right hand.
Look at that.
He was so elusive. He was never a stationary target. He had that natural God-blessed talent that he could feel a punch and slip it.
Once the 1980s approached, one man from Norfolk, Virginia
Sweet Pea.
would absorb the energy from all the greats before him and shape the art
Sweet
of
Pea.
defensive boxing forever.
Wait.
Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker.
Have you guys watched Sweet Pea, by the way? My God, if you haven't watched Sweet Pea highlights, we're going to have to do a Sweet Pea versus Oscar De La Hoya fight for like classic fight night. Sweet Pea might be like he literally looks like a video game. It just like, I can't describe it any other way. He's bonkersville.
Pound for pound, the best in the world today, Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Growing up in Norfolk, Virginia during the early 1980s was a struggle for most, but even more so for folks that resided in the projects.
Cops always stopping, you know what I mean? Ambulance always coming to pick up somebody, guns always going off.
The lack of jobs led to high crime rates, and there were small hopes and even smaller opportunities for the residents of Young's Park. But while most people were busy hustling for a living, a young man by the name of Pernell Whitaker refused to let his environment dictate his life and goals.
You're right,
Friends and
Minnie,
neighbors
you
say they may
did.
lose Sweet Pea someday to the fame and fortune that goes along with professional boxing.
Similar to Prince Nassim Ahmed, Whitaker was extremely impressive from the very start of his boxing journey. Most kids have to learn the hard way by walking home with a bloody nose for a few weeks, but Pernell favored a slightly more intelligent approach. First, make 'em miss. Second, make 'em pay.
You know, I have my ways of fooling a man.
Before long, Whitaker was dominating the amateur boxing scene. By 1982, he was the national champion. In 1983, he became the champion of Pan America, and in 1984, he was scoring knockouts and winning every second of every round to become the Olympic champion.
He was in the Olympics and he won a gold medal.
What do you think about that?
I think it's great.
Is there any boxer
84
that you
was
think
a special
can
year
be
for
a
American
future
Olympians.
champion? Yeah.
Evander Holyfield,
There's definitely
Terrell
some.
Biggs, Mark Breland, and Mildred
few.
Taylor all captured medals and became very close friends along the way. So much so.
Number one on that list for you, Shrek, is Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis is so good. Rolly. Boots Ennis is so good. And his skill level, defensively, everything is just, it's incredible. He's the number one person that I feel like I just have absolute confidence in is going to win a belt. Number one. No question, he's going to win a belt. I think Jared Anderson could. Depends how the heavyweight landscape comes about. He's a little bit smaller for heavyweight, being 6'4". I really love Virgil Ortiz. I think Virgil Ortiz could definitely win a belt. No question. No question. He's another guy that I really love. There's a few guys that I look at and I'm like, wow. I used to feel like Elvis Rodriguez was a really, really high-level guy. Yes, Virgil is fighting in August against Velasquez, who gave issues to Terrence Crawford. So Velasquez is a great fight for him. So I used to really like Elvis Rodriguez. He has a lot of natural ability, everything. He lost his last fight, but I don't think that'll be the end we hear of him.
That they all made the conscious decision to turn pro together and share the same fight cards, with whoever being the most impressive and entertaining to top the bill as they progressed.
From Madison Square Garden, from the surface and back to his dressing room as we await the entrance of an Olympic gold medalist and a man who might be the most skilled of the Olympians. Bono and Bernie Friedkin do the scoring. Landing punch after punch with 20 seconds remaining now in the second round. Polo really staggered. Takes it in the left hand. If they do it.
Yeah, let's not waste any time.
Pernell Whitaker, a second round TKO at Madison Square Garden.
Must have thrown about 30 punches in this round and none of them have landed.
Great hand speed, great foot speed. Generally an all-around outstanding schedule for Silk.
Like, could you even touch him? Could you even touch Sweet Pea?
Sweet Pea took his time to learn his trade, moving to 11-0 after the first 2 years.
Yeah, no, he is a monster.
You know, I see when I'm fighting, I don't see anybody. I even look up in the concession stand to see if anybody buying a beer or something. You know, if they're not buying that beer, I know they watching me.
Olympians rarely pad their record like the other less experienced pros, so before long a bout was scheduled between himself and the dangerous Black Mamba, Roger Mayweather.
As Whitaker lashed out.
Roger Mayweather.
Mayweather attempted to retaliate. The stage is set for this 12-round North American Boxing Federation lightweight bout between that man, Roger Mayweather, and Pernell Whitaker, live today from Norfolk, Virginia on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Roger, mostly known today for his masterful training of his nephew Floyd, was a very respected fighter during the mid to late 1980s. A two-weight world champion renowned for his freakishly long arms and a devastating right hand. A win for Pernell at this point in his career would send shockwaves around the lightweight division.
Perhaps he will rise to the challenge as both Lou Duva and right hook, and he's down.
Round one. Already putting him down.
Roger was caught cold in the first as Pernell laid him out with a sweet right-left hook combo. But to Mayweather's testament, he made it back to his feet and boxed well to finish out a 12-round unanimous decision in Whitaker's favor.
I
He beat the man that taught
As
Floyd.
you can see, I wasn't worried about the distance. I just wanted to prove to Lou and the rest of my camp that I could do it, and I done it.
On March 12, 1988, just 4 years into his pro career, Whitaker fought for his first world title against one of the Ring magazine's top-rated punchers in boxing history, Jose Luis Ramirez.
Oh my! Whoa! Look out!
Wow.
He gets up, it'll be a miracle.
Ramirez was a solid pro as his record suggests, but most of his losses so far were to fighters of Whitaker's caliber. Purnell was
Just 90 wins, 4 losses. No big deal.
expected to win, and he did. Everyone that watched the fight knew he did. Everyone except the judges, that is.
Oh, lost in translation? I think not. Unbelievable split decision goes to Jose Luis Ramirez.
That's just terrible. That's outrageous.
So all of a sudden, the win streak is over.
That's shameful.
Suleiman is nothing but a goddamn thief. I don't know. No one knows those Suleiman. He gave these guys orders. I predicted that as the rules thing. And here's the guy that come over, an Olympic champion from the USA.
All right, Shrek. Have a good one, brother.
Such a horrible way to lose your first
Thanks for
fight.
stopping by, man.
Fortunately, though, Purnell used the robbery as fuel to make sure every bout from now on would be so one-sided the judges couldn't dare rob him. And it worked. For the next few years, at least.
This is a foul fest now.
Except for Dana White. May Butterbean be with you.
Inside the same year of his defeat to Ramirez, Purnell went straight back into a title fight, this time against the IBF champion Greg Hogan, who was in way over his head against a much improved Whitaker.
This is the form that we expected. Greg Hogan has always been a slow starter. He felt that if he could win 2 out of the first 4 rounds, this one was real close. I thought Purnell took over a little bit.
Oh my
When he lost
goodness.
the decision up there.
Oh, and a solid right from Whitaker.
Sweet Pea didn't just win every round, he beat a great brawler at his own game right there in the center of the ring. He sat in the pocket all night, but was barely touched over the entire course of the fight. A true work of art and a great
Gorgeous.
way to become champ.
The first time out for the title, they robbed you. You dominated the fight. This time, you seem to come on strong just to make sure there was no question at all.
You know, dreams are for dreamers, and I dream, and I figured one day I would win a world title, but I wanted to win it at home, and thanks Greg Hogan for giving me that opportunity.
Sweet Pea, man.
All the great things
So
that Whitaker was
crazy.
remembered for as a pro started now. From here on out, every bout was decided for a world honors, one of the longest title runs in boxing
I know,
history.
the music.
He was winning championships, running through every round.
Purnell Whitaker is an artist and a magician.
Winning belts was one thing, but it was the manner of the victories that meant that much more to the dancing master.
Oh my God.
Ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself.
There are many ways to interpret Bruce Lee's water analogy, but for me, it's always represented the flow of natural self-expression.
I mean, it's a
Wow.
combination of both.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
here it is the
That corner
natural
move.
instinct, and here is control. It is a successful combination of both.
From the left end, you could see Sweet Pea just dances around and makes it awkward.
So often today, you see boxers flaunting defensive moves mostly to cause a reaction from the fans and their opponent. It's not always a bad thing, but it doesn't have the same impact as the truthful movements of Purnell and others of his caliber.
It is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that.
That's Boots Ennis.
It was amazing what Purnell could do. He could read, process, and make a decision based on microseconds of information.
I mean,
Whitaker shows offense, ring generalship, defense, and in his own way, aggressiveness.
I feel like Boots Ennis is right up this guy's like Boots is
Over a 4-year
another
period,
level,
which,
just
in my
like this
opinion,
guy.
was the true prime of Sweet Pea. He rematched and schooled Ramirez, beat Hall of Fame legends in Jorge Paez, Ozzie Nelson, and Buddy McGirt, all while flexing his ever-brilliant defensive skills.
They don't take away an MVP in baseball. It's there for all time. You'll lose your batting championship the next year, but you'll never lose that most valuable player. And this is the most valuable fighter of an era.
But when you're dealing with a guy such as Pernell Whitaker, who is, like I said, one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world today,
look at Roy.
It's very difficult for a guy who is not at that top level to get in the ring and even have much of a chance.
By 1993, Whitaker had amassed a record of 32-1 and been named the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year. He was on the tip of everyone's tongue. However, he wasn't quite boxing's biggest star. That honor was being given to the hard-punching and extremely skilled Mexican,
know this.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
I know. Looks so weird. Yeah, I know.
When Whitaker met Chavez in September 1993, both fighters were ranked number 1 and 2 pound for pound by the Ring Magazine. The fight was in extremely high
Look at
demand.
this.
Whitaker 32-1, Chavez astonishingly 87-0. No fighter, with the exception of Meldrick Taylor, had ever come close to putting a dent in Chavez to this point. But after a tentative opening few rounds, it was clear Whitaker was far superior to Chavez's previous competition.
We gotta watch this fight on Friday. My goodness. This is like when you put all of your fucking points and all the stats. Upset City. I mean,
once the championship rounds approached, the pro-Mexican crowd was silent, defeated if you will. They knew nothing but a knockout for Chavez would be enough.
Knocked out Whitaker in the final 10 seconds. Whitaker won't let him. Too elusive. History. It could be history in the making. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker fighting a near flawless fight.
Don King, who at the time was Chavez's promoter, was said to have played a big part in selecting the fight judges, something that's only speculation today, but seems very possible considering the scorecards.
115 to 115, a draw. The decision is a majority decision draw.
A draw. You can see the reaction of.
give me a fucking break.
Believe it, and frankly, I can't either.
Whitaker was robbed again, and unlike Ramirez, Chavez wasn't prepared to face Pernell in a rematch.
I don't think that King wants to fight, and that's the only reason Chavez won't get in the ring is because he knows that Pernell Whitaker will whip him and whip him good. So if he's ready to sign, here's $7 million guarantee, Julio. Let's get the contract signed.
Oh, yes.
Sweet Pea wasted no time getting back in the ring after the Chavez controversy and was eager to prove himself as once again the pound-for-pound king.
But he weathered the early storm and eventually asserted tactical dominance over Buddy McGirt.
World title defenses over Buddy McGirt, Julio Cesar Vasquez, Wilfredo Rivera, and Dios Bellis Hurtado escalated Whitaker's record to 41-1. And to be honest, with his skills notably on the decline, this, in retrospect, would have been the perfect time to retire.
If you really look at Pernell, he's quick for an average guy, but compared to how fast he used to be, he's moving in molasses, totally slow.
But so often, retirement is easier said than done. On April 12, 1997, Whitaker was offered $6 million to fight the hottest rising star in the sport, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
He has shown that he is the bravest fighter in the ring tonight.
Oscar was fresh off wins over Jorge Paez, Gennaro Hernandez, and Julio Cesar Chavez, among many other great talents. And despite only being 23-0, he was already having his 12th world title fight across 3 weight divisions. Truly remarkable stuff.
Hey, that's their fault, not mine. I'm gonna keep on going and trying to become the best fighter in the world.
Now, who's hot, who not? Tell me who rock.
With his win over Chavez still embedded in Mexican fans' minds to this day, Pernell entered the bout as a 3-1 underdog due to stages both fighters were at in their career.
And reigning pound-for-pound king,
Regardless of that, Purnell matched the Golden Boy at every second of every
Sober
round.
De La
with both
Hoya,
fighters showing
yep.
an extraordinary amount of skill.
Similar in so many ways. Look at those right hands in the face of Pernell Whitaker. You know, a real good jab.
The music, dude.
Skills, power.
Listen, see how close he is to him here.
There was UFC. It's already over, so we're watching classic boxing stuff.
He just dances around and makes it awkward.
They're tying him up. Dabbling with southpaw. See how well
Really good fight, though, in UFC.
There's about 5 or 6 punches thrown at the bell there, and a couple of them landed.
Whitaker dropped a point in the third for an accidental headbutt, but evened things out with a flash knockdown in the ninth. Overall, the bout was extremely close, but I would have personally scored it to Whitaker, with final punch stats backing that up. 25 independent boxing writers scored the bout with 14 edging Whitaker, 10 favoring Oscar, and 1 scoring a draw. Unfortunately for Purnell, once again the judges felt differently and gifted the younger man a fairly wide
Dillashaw
decision.
versus Sandhagen.
With such a great showing against De La Hoya, it was clear Whitaker still had a lot to offer. However, this would be the last time we'd ever see him in a competitive boxing match due to personal reasons.
TJ Dillashaw. It was so close, dude.
I took full responsibility. I shouldn't have, but I did.
Purnell never really opened up about his cocaine abuse and claimed he never had a problem to begin with. He just enjoyed the finer things in life every once in a while. There are many reports that claim he always suffered in one way or another with drugs and alcohol problems, but because of his concealed attitude towards the subject, we'll never really know just how bad things were and how long they were going on for.
He's not the only one that's fallen into that trap, but I think he's been man enough and big enough to overcome that and move on with his life.
He was fortunate to catch a break immediately upon his return and bag close to $3 million in a showdown with the murderous punching Felix Tito Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidad.
Lies in the hands of the neutral judge. Hard left hand from Trinidad as Whitaker reached with a right. The head movement goes away, George.
Well, you know, Whitaker, like I said, you want to duck and dodge after you throw a shot and just before, because this guy can hit.
Oh, Trinidad. He was a bad man at that time.
This was the first time Whitaker lost a fight, and there were no arguments about the result. Sweepy was knocked down in the second round and had his jaw broken in the sixth. He ended the fight in classic Purnell fashion, but it did little more than paper the cracks for what has to be said was a shadow of his former self. Purnell kept a fairly low profile after retiring in 2001. He worked a few different jobs in the boxing community, but mostly dedicated his life to his family.
This is real life, you know, and we are all so close together that we have to love each other. That's why I never can wait to get in there to perform, because I know who's watching. You know, I know everybody out in the transit that I grew up, as well as all the other.
It's amazing, dude.
I know everybody's going to be zoomed in to cheer me on.
On July 14th, 2019, the Hall of Fame legend sadly lost his life as he was struck by a vehicle while crossing an intersection of Northampton Boulevard on Baker Road. The former King of the Ring was only 55 years old. His death will be one mourned by boxing fans for a long time to come. And at this point, we at Boxing Legends TV can only send our deepest condolences to his family.
It's so sad.
We hope that we haven't put too much emphasis on the controversial losses of Whitaker's career in this video because whether he won or lost those fights means very little in the wide scale of things. He has a resume that rivals the legends of all eras of boxing and a skill level that puts him among the very best that ever did it. A prime Purnell Whitaker was more than a boxer. Whether he knew it or not, he was a scientist, a technician, a performer of arts, a legend. Rest in peace, champ.
So, yeah, I love that video, and it's one of my favorites because it just shows different eras and different everything else, but at the same time, it was just like, my goodness. My goodness. All right, boys. All right. I think I'm going to call it a night. Boats and Hoes. We'll be live on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday next week. Then August 7th, guys, 12-hour stream. We're going to raid someone really quick. Go say hi to them really quick if you can. That'd be super nice of you. We're going to raid Happy really quick. Happiest is a really good guy and seems like a really solid dude. We're going to raid him really quick with a few people. Just to say hi and support other streamers. Thank you guys so much. It was a great time tonight. Great fights. And I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. So